let's explore the spots. Heavy bass drops with tight beats,
illuminate the shadows, the echo of our call.
on this roller ring will never fall.
Feel the energy rising, can you sense the spark? As we dive deeper into the cosmic arc.
Stories of the universe, mysteries unfold. In the heart of SNX, where the truth is gold. Every note we play, every line we write, crafting our legacy, shining ever bright.
SNX radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine, bringing shadows to light. In this cosmic dance, we're connecting the dots.
Tune into the frequency, let's explore the spots. Here in the spotlight, we're taking our turn. With the fire in our hearts, let the passion burn. SNX radio's call, ringing through the air. Together we rise, together we dare.
So join us now, let the rhythm flow. With SNX radio, we're ready to go. Unraveling the mystery side by side, we stand hand in hand. In this dance of truth, let the story expand.
We drift and we roam, finding our place in the vastness we call home. With courage and wonder we reach for the light, guided by visions that illuminate the night. Mystery cloaked in the past unknown, truth and discovery seeds we sow. In the starlit wonder we seek the key to unlock the secrets of our galaxy. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Stars are our compass, and time is our friend. Together we'll journey where stories transcend. Mystery cloaked in the vast unknown, truth and discovery seeds we sow. In the starlit wonder we seek the key to unlock the secrets of our galaxy. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Stars are our compass, and time is our friend. Together we'll journey where stories transcend. Mystery cloaked in the vast unknown, truth and discovery seeds we sow. In the starlit wonder we seek the key to unlock the secrets of our galaxy. Through endless horizons, our spirits ignite. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Stars are our compass, and time is our friend. Together we'll journey where stories transcend. Through endless horizons, our spirits ignite. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. Chasing the dreams that fill the night. A symphony nights, we learn our name. A symphony, a wonder we seek the key to unlock the secrets of our galaxy. First and third with the cosmos whisper our name. A symphony of wonder under a celestial refine. In the deep glassy moment our wisdom grows. In the dance of the universe the truth flows. In the quiet of the night we dream and fly, with questions that echo through an endless sky. Bound by the stars, our story unfolds. In the universe, our destinies are told.
Hello and welcome everybody to SNX Radio. I'm COLEY, and tonight I have a very special guest. I apologize for the delay. I could not figure out how to get my mic off mute, so thank God for Jessica Jones. So Jessica, I have to say, I have a special place in my heart. She was on Spaced Out Radio when I started there, and it was just like, it was so much fun with her. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing inside and out. So I just kind of want to give you a background on the cryptid huntress, Jessica Jones. She's a paranormal investigator, a remote viewer based in the Northwest Georgia. She's an active field researcher and a member of the the ERG, North Georgia Cryptid Researchers. I mean, she's got groups galore. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about those because I definitely will slaughter them. She goes out hunting for Bigfoot, Dogman, and all the cryptid hotspots. So I've talked to so many people. She's so much fun. And without further ado, I'm going to bring Jessica on and let her tell you a little bit more about herself. Jessica, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. And I apologize for the little mix up but thank God. I mean, you she's like, I was sending you a message. It was on mute. I was like, I've never had this problem. I've had some problems, but it's never been this. So welcome. So you're doing all sorts of exciting stuff. Why don't you tell? I mean, I'm sure everybody kind of, if you don't know Jessica, her description is in. Go ahead and click on that. Follow her, the Cryptid Huntress. She's all over YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Patreon. I mean, website cryptidhuntress.com. Is that correct, Jessica?
That's right.
All right.
Cryptidhuntress.com. Yes. Awesome. Girl, you know how many times I've had that same problem where it was always the mute button? Always. That's I knew. I was like, gosh, she's got her mute button pushed. That's what it is. It happens to be all the time.
I've never had that. That was now I know. I was like, I was panicking. I was like pulling cords and she's check your mute button. I was like, okay.
I'm sure this will not be the last time that happens either. Because it still happens to me too.
Oh man.
Panic ensues.
Oh, I know. I was ripping out cords and everything. So how have you been? You're doing all sorts of stuff. I saw that you're doing something with the missing can you go into that? I think that's so fascinating. I know like they say like the cryptids and things like that. I've been really getting into it. Do you think people are going missing over this? Or do you think that this is like a thing like with the cryptids and the parks and things like that?
I think it's a little bit of a factor. Yeah, I do. Well, so I'm a Bigfoot cryptid field researcher, and I've been doing it since 2011. I've been in it for a while, and I was not public for over 10 years. I did not speak publicly about it at all. I had no intentions of speaking publicly about it. Back when I started Bigfooting and stuff, it was not that popular to be a Bigfooter. Wow. Bigfoot was not popular.
No, not at one time. No, it was really taboo. It's really coming out. You're seeing all sorts of, it's kind of like the paranormal. At first, you couldn't even talk about the paranormal. And then it's like, now there's groups galore, doing it. So yeah, good for you. Good for you.
Well, so thank you.
Yeah, kind of go into, I mean, you just don't go into Bigfoot. You go Dogman, you go all into the cryptids.
Oh yeah, I'm out there hunting everything, and I'm not hunting like hurting them. Hunting, I'm investigating and researching. I'm part of 4 separate research teams, and I go out with one investigative team. Actually, those guys are a little more wild. Okay, and I'll talk about them in just a minute. My young crew that I go out with, they like to get down and dirty and really put the boots on the ground. We're all boots on the ground researchers, but they're a little more wild and free than the other teams. Okay, and so. All right. Well, let me back up a little bit because I do a lot of my field research in our national and state parks. Okay. Oh, wow. There's a big concentration of Bigfoots, Dogmen, weird stuff, pale crawlers, you name it. They're in our national parks. Okay. And so one of my soapboxes that I stand on when I'm doing presentations, I speak all over the country, and I have my own YouTube channel now. And I talk about the missing people in our national parks. And one thing that happened once I started getting into Bigfoot field research with my first team that I was on. The head of that team was an amazing one, the best remote viewers in the world, trained in the military style training of remote viewing. And he was like, well, we were very much into the mind, body, spirit aspect of Bigfoot and understanding that there's more than just a primate running around the woods. There's an X factor to it. That's what our team calls that, is an X factor, where they can be invisible, cloaked, potentially interdimensional, portals are involved, all that kind of stuff. There's a whole lot of weird stuff involved with Bigfoot and other cryptids. And so he was like, we had, the first time I was out in the field, I had some missing time. I had the equipment malfunctions. We had UFOs. We had a low flying UFO hovering over us. We had orbs, weird stuff we couldn't explain. Red lights in the woods right beside where we were sitting. There was definitely an ET element to the Bigfoot research. And the head of that team was like, if you guys want, I'll teach you remote viewing, and it's going to be hard. It's going to suck, because he didn't say it was going to suck, but
there seems like there always is that element of UFO, Bigfoot, and ley lines, Native American grounds. I mean, there's all a factor. That's amazing. So you guys had a UFO and you have cryptids going on. Mm-hmm. What do you think the tie is with all that? Do you guys have made one, or do you know what's going on between them? I mean, it just seems like there's that crossing point where they all come together.
Yes. Well, ley lines would be a good explanation, but it's just a place of energetic high strangeness. And that's, we have several areas that we research, actually. And one of them is pretty well known, because we talk about it a lot. Documentaries are being made on it right now and stuff, but it's called the Meadow. And it's all of my research is down here in the South. I live in Georgia. And most of my research is like Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, the southeastern part of the United States, South Carolina, North Carolina.
Wow. You get all over.
I do. Well, I've Bigfooted all over. I was in New York a couple of years ago, Bigfooting up at Long Island and stuff. So
Brian told me about it. Brian was on. Yeah, he was talking about how you're cracking jokes. He's like, Jessica's so funny. I said, she is. He talked about you a couple times on the show. That's
he's so sweet. He is the go-to historian for Montauk and Camp Hero. He's just a plethora of knowledge. He's a book of knowledge on all that. So I love him to death. Okay, so but anyways, okay, so we there's that one place called the Meadow that we also research, and we've kind of dubbed that the Skinwalker Ranch of the South. And honestly, it's not the only Skinwalker Ranch type place that we research. All the places we research are like Skinwalker Ranch, if not even worse. If you want to call it worse, I think it's better. Okay, and so it's places where we have documented portals. Like, we have them on video and sending people inside of them to go check things out, not knowing what they were at the time. And we have, UFOs, light beings, dogmen type creatures, Bigfoots, shadow figures, portals opening up in our base camp, and creatures crawling out of them. We've had all sorts of stuff happen out there. And so I think it's not only the locations that we go to that are, potentially they could be where ley lines are and intersecting ley lines and stuff. I don't know particularly. Some of them are not mapped potentially, but there is something there. There's something different about these places. And no matter what, it is just, I think it's a place where there's portals. I'm actually going to be probably going down tomorrow. They're having a festival. I'm not a part of this festival. Okay. I usually don't promote a whole lot of stuff if I'm not a part of it, but I love this one cryptid out of Georgia, and it's called Old Green Eyes. And tomorrow they're having the Old Green Eyes Festival. I'm going. Okay. Wow. And my buddy Greg Smith is my go-to Old Green Eyes researcher up in North Georgia. And it's just south of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And they're having this festival. I'm going to try to go tomorrow. And but it's at a battlefield. Okay. Whoa. And this is a Civil War battlefield. And a lot of these cryptid sightings that we have, a lot of them are on battlefields, historical battlefields where a lot of blood was shed.
Wow. And
not only are we having werewolf sightings, dogman sightings, Bigfoot sightings, people are going to these battlefields and, let's just say, self-deleting themselves, if you know what I mean, and stuff to this day at Chickamauga, where the Old Green Eyes was. There's witchcraft, and Satanists go out there just right down the road at a place called Courtswood Manor. It is a place where a lot of bloodshed, a lot of unalivings have happened and stuff like that. And there is a there's 100% a connection with that and these cryptids.
What do you think that is? So on these grounds, you're saying that, like, I mean, they're witchcraft, Satanists, like bloodshed, and then you got the cryptids. So is that drawing maybe like more negative ones in there? Because I've heard like Daryl Denton and what's his name, Martin Groves, how he was I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that I didn't understand all that was going on. I mean, I didn't realize how risky some of this really is.
Oh man, it ain't safe. Okay. It's really not safe. And you know, but people are like, oh, Bigfoot's so nice and it's all, you know, sunshine and rainbows. Actually, no, it's not. And that's okay if people want to think that. And there are some Bigfoots that are good and they're nice. They're just like humans. But listen, I'm one of those people that I always have. I go deep into the woods. We hike in sometimes 5-6 miles and we sleep in hammocks in the middle of nowhere. In the woods, we put ourselves in the middle of where dogmen are and Bigfoots. And that's what I do for fun. Okay. And I always have, I never go anywhere without, let's just say, personal protection, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I know there are people that are like, oh, if you have that, you're not going to have a Bigfoot experience. Well, that's not my experience. Okay. It's all about your intention. Okay. And I'm out there to protect myself, not from the Bigfoots per se or anything. It's like from the big animals that are out there. It's from the people. Okay. There's a lot of bad people hiding in the woods sometimes. And so we have to worry about that kind of stuff. But there are cases of like, there's people that have gone out into some of the woods, like out in Alabama at one of these national forests. A guy was unalived, as we say on YouTube, last year with his fiance. The women who did it, they were pulled over, pretended like they were broken down on a forest road, waved this guy and his girlfriend down, and they pretended like the car was messed up, and then they attempted to rob them at gunpoint, and the guy pulled his firearm out, and they had a shooting match, and he ended up unalived, and the police ended up finding, when they did a search of the area, they found, like, from the FOIA request, they had found, like, I think they said 10 camps of off-grid like people that were living off-grid with witchcraft involved. It literally says with witchcraft tools and statues and all this stuff. There's like religious cults deep in the national forest. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff, like, you know, I'm more worried about that kind of stuff than I am Bigfoot. I'm just saying.
For real. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. So I guess people don't realize, like, how much is out there. And it's not necessarily, do you think, like, with the portals that you saw, can you kind of go into what was it like? I mean, when they opened, did you know that it was like a vortex opening, or was it just kind of a weird, like, crossing, or what happened? Do you think they're summoning it? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yes and no. Okay. And I think there's so many different types of portals. Now, if I back up just a little bit, after we had that first expedition that I went on back in 2011, we had all this weird stuff that went on. The head of my team was like, hey, I'll teach you guys remote viewing. We spent the next several years, I mean, up until recently, we're still learning remote viewing, different modalities of remote viewing. I'm thoroughly trained as a remote viewer. And I even do a show on it every Thursday night, where I discuss some of my blind coordinate remote viewing targets on my show and stuff. And so we're able to, like, look in psychically. It's what our government, if people are not familiar with remote viewing, it's what our military and our government has used since at least the Cold War to psychically spy on other countries and stuff. And so it's a bunch of psychic spies, if you want to call it that. And we're able to look into things that we normally would not be able to look into, things that were unexplainable, and experiences that we've had. I mean, I'm given these blind targets where I'm just given a set of numbers, and they're called coordinates, and they're assigned to whatever experience or whatever it is that I'm remote viewing. And I've looked into multiple alleged or suspected dogman attacks on people, Bigfoot sightings, people's properties that have skinwalkers on them and stuff. I mean, I love it. I think it's great. But we are all trained as an entire team. We're trained in remote viewing. And so that is a majorly amazing tool to have in our tool belt out in the field when we're doing our cryptid research, because cryptids are telepathic. Okay. Most of them are, they're just like humans. Okay. To me, they're like humans. There's a variety of us. Okay. There's the sweet ones that will bake you cookies, and they're like little old grandmas. And there's some that will eat you, like the big bad wolf. Okay. And so there's just a wide variety, just like there are a wide variety of us humans.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's hard for people to understand. I said ET's the same way. You can't just assume that they're ascended and that no, that's not the way it is. You have, there's not all good. It's definitely not all good.
Yes, they're but it's, I speak all over the country at like events and stuff. And I have a lot of people that will come up to me, and like some people have been like upset before, because, even on my shows are like, well, I don't talk openly too much about my personal protection devices, if you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But people are like, oh, there's no way, they're going to attack you if they know you have that. And I'm like, no, I've been doing this a long time. And I think there's a mutual respect, out of all of us, that includes them involved as well, the Bigfoots and whatever. But, it's just a matter of safety out there. And I think that there's, like I said, there's a telepathic communication with a lot of them. And some of us humans tap into our psi abilities, you want to call it that, like, about psionics and stuff. So any kind of psychic abilities, some of the cryptids, a lot of them do utilize those psychic abilities. And that we found that is a perfect way to communicate with them, actually.
Wow. So how do you feel them? Do you sense them? How do you know they're around? Like, do they let you know? Is there certain communications that they'll kind of establish between all of them? Or that's amazing, Jessica. You're out there. I mean, that takes a lot of, you got a lot of, good for you.
Got a lot of cojones.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Trying to find the word for it.
I got bigger ones than most guys do. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding.
No, for real. You do, girl. I love it too. I'm like, if I go to a paranormal place and stuff is flying, I'm like, oh, this is exciting. And most people are like running out the door. So I think that's amazing. I love that about you. I really do.
Thank you. No, it's a lot of fun. And something that we do is, there have been times where when we go out into the field, we will connect psychically with them before we go, or they'll connect with us. And it's not like it's just kind of natural at this point for us. It's not like we're like, oh, everybody, let's get in the group text and be like, let's all connect with Bigfoot before we go out. We don't do that. Okay.
So it's
if
like
we
kind of
connect,
like paranormal then, because before I go, it's like 2 days before I start connecting with the spirits that are there. Yes. So you guys are saying like before then you connect with them, they know you're coming before you know you're coming, probably.
Yes.
Like, for paranormal. Okay, cool.
They sure do. Yeah.
Wow.
I think in the beginning, some of the guys were like, well, they would try to speak in very simplistic terms with them, like psychically, like by the next full moon, and the leaves have turned brown, whatever. I don't know. Just stuff like the leaves and you can hear the crackling of the sticks on the ground. I don't know. It's kind of comical looking back at it. You know what I mean?
You're probably trying any way to connect with them.
They don't need that.
Fill it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know, right.
Or like oonga booga, like we're cavemen. Yeah. Now we're just like, they're probably smarter than we are. Obviously, they've not been, they're not detected by humans and stuff. They're smarter than us, a lot of them. So, but there's all these different varieties of Bigfoots out there. And like I said, like a lot of us, some of us, a lot people that I know are very psychically switched on humans. We utilize our enhanced human capabilities, like telepathy and like our psychic ability, and tuning into stuff and noticing energetic shifts in our environment and things like that. There's a lot of different things like exercises people can do, just walking from one room to the next, walking through a doorway and feeling the energy shifts. It's little things like that you start doing, and you start tuning in. You look down at your phone, and let's just say your phone rings, and you're just like, oh, that's my mom, or that's my friend. That's Jackie, or that's Bob, or whatever. And you look down, and it's them, because you're psychically tuned into that. And it may not be a big deal to you, but it really is if you think about it.
So you're kind of tuning into their frequency then?
Yes.
Is that kind of tuning yourself to, wow.
yeah, just being open to the energies and noticing it and just paying attention to it, because anything that's living outside, and you got to also think about like all these frequencies that we have around us. Like humans are under constant attack by the
Even
outside
the clothes
forces.
we wear. Like it's like they
Yes.
purposely are doing this to jam the you know, so you're not
Yes.
probably able to tune in with some of this stuff then.
Mhm.
I
Well,
agree.
we are antennas. Okay, like we're antennas. Our hair's like an antenna. Okay, we've got all these chemicals are just like making us not feel good, and coming from the sky and coming from the water, coming from our food, our clothing, our soaps and shampoos, all that. We're just under constant a barrage, okay, of things that will our phones, the frequencies that are being emitted from our Wi-Fi, cell phones, televisions, whatever. It stops us from being able to receive these messages and the downloads that we need to get every day. And the ones that they're out there getting in the middle of nowhere, in the woods, try it. Here's a little thing for anyone in your audience who goes camping. Okay. Notice when you go camping out in the middle of nowhere, notice your dreams. I promise you, your dreams when you go out in the woods are going to be massively crazy. Okay. Not just like crazy, but like you're going to get so many downloads because you're away from all this technology out here. And like, I don't remember my dreams anymore. I don't even know if I dream as much as I used to because of the
I don't
Wi-Fi.
either. I don't either. Do you think that's because of all the Wi-Fi and stuff that they're
100%. Well, and I just did a show a couple weeks ago it's called Mall World. Are you familiar with Mall World?
No.
Oh man, that's something
fascinating.
You should cover that. It's so there's thousands of people all over the world that are having the same collective dream. It's called Mall World dreams, is what they're calling it. It's almost like there's a collective subconsciousness of all these people all over the world that are having these dreams where they're in a mall that's empty. It's full of clothing and all the shops and everything, but there's no people in it usually. And you get on escalators that go in circles, and it's like a fun house kind of. And odd items for sale and stuff. And people, there's a subreddit where they're calling it Mall World on subreddit, and these people are like
empty malls.
Yeah, it's not just like these abandoned malls. These are dreams where people are in these abandoned malls, and everybody's having the same dreams of the same malls. They've mapped these malls out. Wow. There's maps.
This gave me the
It's
chill.
Crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I could see inside of it. Because what is it? Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Well, okay, so here's the thing about it, though. It's like, well, what's causing this? Is it just like everybody's having this nostalgia? Because dreams are a way to, like I was told when I was learning remote viewing that the reason that we dream or we sleep is because we have to dream. Because our subconscious has to make sense of our lives, our everyday lives. And so it's not so much that we need to rest. We do need to rest, but it's more important that we dream. And we process our subconscious thoughts and stuff. And so are all these people, having this nostalgia of these malls. There's not a lot of malls anymore. They're all closing down. Who doesn't love a good cookie smell and pretzels? And
it's like going back in time,
Yeah.
That like era. I'm like, I hung out at the mall. I can relate to that mall. It's not the same anymore. It's definitely not the same anymore.
Every time I think of the mall, I think of the lady with the toothpick. She's like, "You want a free sample?"
Yeah,
she's like throwing it in her face, like free sample.
Yes. I don't know what kind of chicken it was, or spicy chicken. I'd always hit right through that mall. Yeah, they'd have the plates. I'm like, yeah, I'll take the free sample.
Yeah, it was probably not that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it was dirty or anything, but germy. We're eating it up too.
No
free samples,
sanitizer. It's like
no,
not in our day.
No. But anyways, it's nostalgia, right? So people are like, it may be a way to like hold on to some of this old school Americana in our dreams, and it's a place where we feel safe and happy. Or could it be that there's some kind of frequency that's getting pumped in, like through our cell phones and through some kind of towers or something? I don't know. and it's kind of putting the same dream. It's some kind of programming, okay, that they're putting into everybody. Now, I do know that there is some way that they're pumping advertisements into our dream state. I'm not saying I've ever woken up craving, you know, a McMuffin, like I always say, but they say that there's big corporations like, you know, fast food industry that they're doing something where they're able to put advertisements into our dreams. It comes through our phones and these frequencies and our Wi-Fi and stuff. So
it's like a segment out of the Black Mirror.
That's exactly what it is.
That. Like now I'm like really thinking about all this stuff, and I'm like, man, people talked about it, you know, like when all this technology was coming out, but it's here, like it's happening.
Yeah.
That's jarring. So
Yeah,
what do we like other than wearing a tinfoil hat? I mean, how do you get rid of some of that, or how do you block some of that? There's got to be ways to do that. Well,
you can turn off your Wi-Fi at night. And you can take your phone out of your bedroom. Don't sleep by your phone. Even, you know, they talk about lead paint stuff in houses. Like they used to say, like, lead paint's so bad because, you know, kids are eating the chip paint and stuff, and it's causing brain damage and whatever. And turns out they say that the reason they wanted to get rid of that was so that because it's like a Faraday bag, like a Faraday cage for your home, and these frequencies can't get in through that paint. And so that's why they had to get rid of all that so they could spy on us and stuff.
That is probably what makes sense. Yeah. I remember them going around, and we had to go out. The city came in. They're like, we're going to pay for a hotel. We're going to put you up. You're going to spend. Yeah. So they were like, it took them, I can't remember how long, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you ate the lead chip paint. You know, it's like, probably that's exactly probably what happens. Cause anytime they do that, I'm like, oh yeah, that was probably a good thing, not a bad thing, you know?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't look at it like that though, because it's like, oh, for safety, for health, you know, and you don't question it. But
we trusted it. You think of how much we trusted, and it's like God. I was like, oh God, I would check into everything. But back then, I was like, oh, lead paint. I got to get my son out. You know, they're like, oh, go get tested, your blood tested, and stuff like that. You know, it's like making the problem reaction solution.
I mean, I've literally never even thought about eating chip paint when I was a kid. I'm sorry. I ate cat food and dog food. We my cousins would dare each other to eat dog food and cat food and Play-Doh and all that weird stuff, but never paint, never chips. That's just weird. But it was such a problem. They made it out to be such a problem. So I don't know. Today we
you're
question
probably
everything.
right though. When I was a therapist, I had kids sometimes, and they, you know, if they had heavy trauma, they were eating like gravel or charcoal fluid.
Oh,
all sorts of stuff.
Jeez. Kids will eat anything. Okay. I'm not saying there was like no kids eating chip paint. I'm not saying that because I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it was as big of an issue as we were led.
No, I mean, like I can't remember sitting and chipping the paint off the wall and all the stuff I heard as a therapist. It never was lead paint by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, wow.
Exactly. So I don't know. I don't know if this is like let's just say it is in the collective subconscious, right?
Sure.
But how did it get there? That's the question. And is it man-made or is it just something natural? And it seems like it's not something natural. Okay. But can we have a huge, you know, collective subconscious and a collective consciousness? Absolutely. We do. But it's just like with these portals that you were asking me about. We have several different portals that have opened up in our base camps. And we have at least 3 that I'm aware of. Okay. And two of them happened in one location, kind of within miles of each other. And then another one happened in another location, way like, you know, hours away at another one of our locations. And I guess the first one that happened, I think the two, and I don't know, I can't say they're natural, or I don't want to say man-made, but alien-made, maybe. I don't know, alien man, or maybe man-made with alien tech. Okay. And I'll explain that. The first one, 2 of my teammates were driving and drove through a location that we're very familiar with. And the entire environment was completely different and had changed. And it was just odd. And some things happened, and we considered that to have been a portal that they had like kind of wandered into. And this is in a national forest. And then, but you couldn't see it. It was just an environmental change. Okay. That was very odd. The second one that happened was in that same area, but at one of our literal base camp where we were camped out at night. And we had a bunch of different base camps in this whole forest that we would go to. And we were at the one that was the worst of the worst. And by worst, I mean the best, because it was so scary up there. And we, for this time, and we had about 10 of us up there that time, I guess. And we usually put our tents far from each other, and we have our privacy up there. We put our tents close together because we always have activity that's not fun. It's kind of fun, but it's not, because it's a bad vibe. Okay, very bad vibe. But we always have activity up there, and so by activity I mean like cryptid activity and paranormal stuff that happens. And so we were sitting around the campfire, and there was a commotion behind the tent. I didn't hear it at first, but right behind where my tent was, okay, the head of our team jumped up out of his chair and didn't run, but he was walking fast back into the darkness behind our tents. And we all kind of were alerted, like something was wrong. We didn't know what. We just thought maybe there was somebody back there, something back there. And then we heard him yell some sort of a word in another language. We heard that. And it's like he screamed like knit or something. It was some kind of noise. And it was very alarming for us. So we were all standing there waiting to find out what this was, and, starting to walk towards him. But as soon as we got up, we were walking towards that area, we just heard this god awful scream. And it was like from where he was standing, and this thing was screaming. It sounded like a woman that was upset, mad, and then it turned into an animal, and it was just mad and hurt. It sounded like it was injured or something, and it just screamed almost like a Bigfoot, but more animalistic. It was just weird. Something I've never heard in my life. But you could hear it run all the way from like where he was behind all of our tents and all the way down towards a trail and a road, because we're in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And the thing that had a set of lungs on it, like it was definitely not, he could not have been human, but it was running on two legs. We heard it running, and we ran back there, and he kind of met us halfway, and we're like, what the hell was that? And we're just sitting there dumbfounded. Like, wow, that normally doesn't happen in our base camp that bad. Like it was so close. It was screaming. We never had anything scream in our base camp before. And he said, and he was like, well, he explained to us exactly what it was. He was like, I heard this commotion. I ran back there. The way he described it was something that I never talked about publicly until recently, because I wanted to see if anyone else would ever describe what we had out there ever. And I do interview people from all over the world, mostly all over the United States, with their Bigfoot encounters, their Dogman encounters, any kind of cryptid encounters. And I was just waiting for the day that somebody described what we had happen to us out there. Nobody. And so about a month or two ago, I finally came clean with exactly what we saw out there. And because nobody ever saw it. Nobody ever explained that, what we saw. So the head of my team ran back there, and the way he described it was almost like the square in the middle of our screen right now, right behind us in the background. There's like that square, and it was like that, suspended in the air, but it was a grid pattern in the shape of like a kind of like a square, kind of like a round kind of square. And it was a red glowing grid pattern. And out of that grid pattern, two bipedal humanoids were crawling out of it. When he yelled and made that noise, one of them got spit out of it and landed on the ground, and the other one got sucked back in. And that's when that one on the ground started screaming and running.
So you're saying, I have a picture. I'm going to send it to you. It was weird. There's a weird grid. It was red. It showed up. It was like almost like you could see patterns of numbers, letters.
Yeah.
I was trying to distinguish it. I couldn't. I'm going to see if I can pull it up, because it was like a red, like grid. It was really weird. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Where did you see that?
Okay, I'm gonna look. I have the picture. I'll pull it up on StreamYard. If this is it, like I showed it to people, and they're like, "What is this?" It's like letters, symbols. I was trying to look for something in it, but it was literally a red grid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a red grid. It sounds like the Matrix or something. And so, and here's another thing too. It's like, well, what is what at this point? You know, it's like we had this very real experience. You know, I have seen beings out there. I've seen dogmen. I've seen Bigfoot. I had a guest on my show this past week, about a week ago, and Mike Turnincasa out of MT Paranormal Life up in he's in Ohio actually, and he got on the, he's a paranormal researcher, but he's out there, you know, encountering Bigfoot in Ohio, and he's got great evidence. And he was like, well, you know, here's my thing. He's like, some of the things we don't see, and it's his belief that it's not always just Bigfoot, it's poltergeist activity out there. The rocks being thrown at us, you know, even the noises that we hear out there. And like, what? Sometimes it's not Bigfoot. It could be, according to him, and I agree with him on some of it, could be poltergeist activity. But I know that there's flesh and blood. I know there's an X factor. We don't know that whatever that was not a Bigfoot. Okay. I used to kind of insinuate that it might have been a Bigfoot, but it was not a Bigfoot. Okay. It was something else. And here's the thing, like when you're out there doing the research, you have to have an open mind. We do not categorize everything because you just can't. It's just, we have these experiences. It is what it is. We don't know what it was, but we're taking note of everything out there. And, but yeah, is it man-made? Is it some kind of Earth's natural portal? I don't know, because if it's got a grid pattern in it, it seems like that might be some kind of alien tech or something, right?
That's what I was thinking, because I think when I saw it, there was some sort of craft. It would almost like you could see two lights. I'm dying to find this picture now, because it was the weirdest thing ever. And I was like, what is this? It literally looked like some grid that...
Uh-oh, she went through the grid portal. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, Coley got eaten by the grid. Portaled. Yeah, I want to see that. So yeah, well, until she comes back, you guys are stuck with me. Oh man, I'm so glad. I see some of my people in the chat tonight. What's up, y'all? Over at the Cryptid Huntress channel. Thank y'all for coming in here tonight. It's fun. Y'all come see me tomorrow night too over on my channel. It's gonna be a good show. Okay, and but yeah, she's gone. We've had several. Like I said, we've had several portals. I'm going to talk about the portal at the Meadow too in just a minute. Maybe I'll go ahead and talk about it now while she's gone. Okay, so while she's looking for the red grid pattern portal, we can talk about the Meadow a little bit. And people, especially who are in my here. Oh, there we go.
I was like looking for the picture. I'm like, oh crap, I hit the wrong one. So yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry, keep going.
Oh yeah, no, I was just talking, telling everybody. I say what's up to all the people in here for my channel.
Like, popped off. I'm like,
I was like, y'all are stuck with me.
I know. One time I was like, yeah, I got your chat now. I got your.
I gotcha.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
She portaled out.
Yeah, it struck me right out. I was like, no, I just did not. Yeah, I was looking. I'm like, I gotta find this. It was so crazy. This grid. It was like, so I didn't see anything coming out of it, but I wasn't as close as what you were. So how close do you think you guys were to this?
Oh, it was it was in our base camp. It was within 20 feet from our tents.
Wow.
Probably 20 feet at the most. Yeah, it was right behind my tent. Literally. Oh, and after that happened that night, none of us slept that night. None of us.
Not.
But it was weird. Okay, so here's this. We have this phenomenon that happens. And I keep seeing spider bite in your chat. I'm sorry, I'm going to address it because they keep asking is Dogman hurt anyone? Yes, Dogman has hurt people. 100%. Yes, we'll talk about that too in a minute.
I've gotten all the questions just so they know. I got all your questions. We put it in caps. I've got them for Jessica, so I'm putting them, starring them. Yeah. So
yes, I've just seen that question a couple times, so I was like, we'll just address it real quick. Okay, so we have this phenomenon that happens to my team. It's happened many times where we're out in the field. Like a lot of us drive a long way to get to these places. Like our goal is to stay up all night and do our research, and then try to sleep some before we go home, or sleep the next day and sleep during the day and then go back out the next night and stuff. And
I go paranormal. I'm like 3 days. I'm like half, so you don't sleep.
You want to go Rambo commando, you know what I mean? And so I'm ready to do that. And some of the guys are too, not everybody. Cause my research teams most of the guys are like older, and they're kind of like, they've already, they'll go to bed when they want to go to bed and turn into their tents and stuff. And they know that if anything happens, they'll hear it and they'll wake up, and so we'll wake them up if something happens. But all of us young, I'm not even young, by the way. Okay. But I'm young. I'm one of the youngest ones out there on those teams.
I feel like we're still young. I do.
I'm young at heart.
I know. Right?
I feel like an old lady when I go out with my other team, though. Like they're like in their 30s and stuff and 20s, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like a grandma. I should be their mom.
When do we cross?
Right? I don't know. I don't know. It just happened overnight, dude.
Oh, I know. I know. I was like, man, once
Yeah.
you cross that 40,
I'm old granny over here.
marker. Yeah.
I know. Well, I do have an 11-year-old son, though. Okay, so I'm not, not a granny yet. Could be.
Yours is only 11. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
so you're
he's
still
11.
you're still young. Yeah.
I was an old mom. I had a kid late. Okay, but anyways, okay. So this phenomenon that happens is we will be out there and all this wild stuff will start happening while we're in the field, and it happens at base camp and whatever. And all of a sudden, we just decide to all go to bed. And everybody turns in for the night. And it's like, okay, this is when we should be grabbing all of our stuff, our equipment. We should be setting up, getting the night vision out, getting the thermals, the FLIRs out, setting up booby traps or whatever. You know what I mean? We don't usually set up booby traps.
Yeah,
except for that young team, they do. The young team sets up booby traps. Okay, they do. Those are like military dudes and stuff. But anyways, we'll turn in for the night, and it's almost hypnotic. It's almost like it comes out of nowhere, and we have no interest in staying up. Everybody just wants to go to sleep. And this is within an hour of that portal opening and that thing running through our base camp. We were all in our tents. It made no sense.
And it made sucking the energy.
I don't know. It's like it made sense that night, but the next day it didn't make any sense at all while we'd done that.
Wow.
And so that, but here's the thing. We went and we all lay down in our tents, but none of us slept. So we're all laying there being quiet and still and listening as this thing is running around our camp and throwing rocks and acorns at our tents all night until the sun came up.
Oh,
I'm talking about,
intense.
we're talking about at least 6 hours, We were all just laying there and listening.
Oh,
Nobody got out of their tent. Nobody got out of their tent. Nobody. And here's the thing, like we kind of didn't get out of our tents because we were wanting to experience that, I think. You know what I mean? And to see what was going to happen. Listen, we were all on the ready to take action if we had to, but we didn't. We just sat back and listened. And at some point, like about an hour or two in, maybe 2 or 3 hours in, the head of the team I was right beside his tent kind of, and I could hear him. He goes, "Remember, we do this for fun." We do this for fun. I was like, yes.
Yeah. How close are the rocks coming? Like, are they?
They were hitting our tents. They were hitting us.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
so you're probably just sitting there like, like
we were just taking it. Yeah, we were taking it. We were just like, oh shoot. Okay. But you know what? Here's the thing. We didn't leave. We don't get scared. We just observe, and we're like, okay, well, we're all here together. Whatever happens, happens,
Right.
But yeah, whatever happens, it is what it is. But you could hear it. So it was a little windy that night. So you could hear like acorns and stuff falling from the trees down, but these were going like that. Like you could hear them go, like the trajectory was going sideways, like horizontal.
Wow.
And then smacking our tents real hard. It was fun. It was actually really fun.
You're brave, girl. You're brave.
It was fun. It's just, I love this stuff. And it does also help to have a good team of people that you trust with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Bigfoot. Spider-Bite says, was it invisible like Bigfoot blogs?
That one was not invisible. No, the head of my team saw it, actually. He saw 2 of them. And as he shut it down, I guess, when he screamed at them, and the thing, like, it was like the aperture closed, if you know what I mean. It was like, whoosh, like that. And one of them, the feeling that we all got from it was like there were 2 and they were together. Maybe they were like a couple or something. I don't know. That's the feeling I got.
Like the description of people who saw it.
The way, it was only the head of the team that actually got to see it, but we all heard it after he saw it.
Sure.
And the way he described it was a preta. Okay. Now a preta is, I had to look it up because I didn't know what a pretzel was.
I know. I was like, I got to Google that.
It's
Right?
called a hungry ghost. And it's actually more like a goblin of some sort.
Wow.
And they're not
Sounds
pretty.
paranormal. It sounds
They're
paranormal.
not pretty. They're an actual skin and bone and a skin and blood type of a creature. A lot of times they're pale skinned, almost like a pale crawler, kind of. But they have a huge protruding belly on them.
Wow.
Okay, kind of like, I don't know, just like someone who is famished and hungry. You know how like people remember those commercials when we were kids? They're like, the starving children in Africa and stuff. Like they would have the big bellies on them on those commercials and stuff. That's what it looks like, kind of like real skinny, but like with a protruding belly. And not a good thing that you want running around your base camp all night, stalking you.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? So it's obviously not been human, or it was never human. Like, is that what? I mean,
They say
if it is human, I probably actually make more sense what's going on in the world right now. But
yeah, well, if you look into it, I believe it's I want to say Buddhist monks. I want to say Buddhist, but maybe it's Buddhist. Actually leave offerings out for these things because they feel sorry for them because of their suffering. They're actually, according to legend and religious texts and all that kind of stuff, they say that they were once human, but they have crossed over. They were full of ego and greed when they were humans, and they have been cursed. I guess it's cursed to live in some kind of middle, not heaven, not hell, some kind of like purgatory, basically.
Is that what this is?
Kind of. I don't know, but they're wandering around in like another plane.
Okay.
Trying to feed their appetite, their insatiable appetite, because they've been cursed because of all their greediness they had when they were humans. But the Buddhists are actually feel very sorry for them, and so they leave out food and offerings for them and stuff. So it's something interesting.
Leaving the gifts is a huge thing for like attracting some of these cryptids and stuff. So do they? I mean, what kind of gifts? I guess. So food? Can they consume food?
I'm not leaving nothing out for them. I want them around me. They are not welcome in my camp. Never again. No, I will not be leaving food.
With like a huge twist. Like you're talking about like a poltergeist. Like I've been in places before where stuff starts flying, but it's never like been consistent. It's just like something will go there pounding, or it's never like been like that's intense. That's intense to be that close to it.
It's very intense. It's wild. There's one thing about, I've done ghost investigations before and like haunted location investigations, and I've done what I do out in the field now. And it's a whole other ball game. When you're out in the woods, there's no walls to protect you. Do you know what I mean? Like we're out there, like, for instance, last July, a year ago, this past July, we had gone out to Alabama, to a forest in Alabama, where there's a ton of Bigfoot activity, aggressive Bigfoot activity, and families of Bigfoots have been seen in this area. Multiple dogmen sightings have been out there. We were called out by one of the guys that's on one of my teams. Him and his dad, they're all Marines. Him and his dad and his nephew, all three are Marines. And they had gone out to this forest. They had hiked in 5 or 6 miles, backpacked in, and they set up a camp, and they were going to just have a boys' weekend out there. And they got out there, and about 11 o'clock that night, everything was fine, and it was quiet. And then it wasn't anymore. Something came up. Something was harassing them. They swore it was dogmen. And they said they sat back to back with their guns and all this stuff, not knowing if they were going to survive that night. They thought they might die, actually, because something was harassing them all night and messing with them. So of course, what do? We went out there, like 5 of us went out there. 3 of us, and then the two of the guys, 2 of those men. And we hiked in 5 or 6 miles in the middle of summer. It was absolutely hot and disgusting out there. It was really fun though. But we just had whatever we had on our backs, like our packs and stuff. And most of us were in hammocks and stuff. And we camped out right where that happened, right where those dogmen came and harassed them that night. And we did that, and we had some activity out there. It turned out to be Bigfoot activity, though. We found evidence of Bigfoot the next morning after that first night we were out there.
So you think getting out in the woods, I guess what I'm hearing
Mhm.
is getting out in the woods, getting away from all the stuff. That's where they're able to cross in and you're able to communicate because there's not that jam in the frequency.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that too. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no jam in the frequency. When you go out there, you're going to have like I was out in the woods. Okay, so I just came back from Alabama. Okay, I had my young team. Those guys, we had gone out to Alabama to this place. It's a hunt camp over in Talladega National Forest. And I'd been there before. Actually, when I was driving home from there one night, I was in the middle of nowhere, leaving this WMA. And I turned on the main road. Finally, I was so happy to get on a main road because it was really creepy out there. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. And I passed something, a huge, gigantic creature that was crouched down in the tall grass. And it looked like, I thought it was an African dog. But then it was the size of a bear. And then it started moving like a panther. And I was so confused as to what I was looking at. And there was another one on the other side of the road with its back turned to me. And it wouldn't turn around with my headlight shining on it. And it showed its teeth to me and everything. It was pitch black with really bright white teeth. And I'm going to say it was probably a dogman. And so I'm only saying it with a little more confidence than I would have had that night, because one of the men that was out there that invited me out to that camp out, his buddy owns that property where I was passing by. And he said that when I told him the next day what happened, he said, well, he's had 2 dogman sightings out there. And he has Bigfoots on his property, but he's had 2 dogmen out there. And I think that's what I saw. There's an African dogman. It's exact. It doesn't look like anything from the charts that the dogman people have that are like, hey, there's this, and this type of dogman. It didn't match any of those descriptions. It was something else, but it still was probably a dogman. So, but anyways, it was, oh yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, being out in Alabama or whatever. I forgot what the point of my story was right there, because I go off on tangents, Coley. I'm sorry.
No, I'm following you. Like you're going.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you get to go to all these places. You travel around. I mean, you're
Yeah,
always
it's fun.
boots on the ground. Yeah. I mean, you got
It's
all
a lot
these
of fun.
teams. I've seen you like, you're going to the conferences, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
Jessica is. You've always been the sweetest. I love you. You got this like, but you get out there. You're ferocious. Like not like that way, but you can hold your own. I mean, you're
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
I love that.
Well,
that.
It comes from being Bigfoot bait from the very beginning. Okay, I've always volunteered to be Bigfoot bait. So, and that's like the worst thing you could ever do. Like, don't do that.
I know.
Okay.
You remember we used to tease Marquise about being a taco?
Yes. The Bigfoot burrito.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The first time, all the newbies have to be a Bigfoot. They have to be Bigfoot bait. That was my initiation. And
you're right. It's brutal
Yeah.
out there. Like you go to paranormal, it's like you're going in, like you're the one, the newbie. You're going in the isolation. You're sitting down in the thing. You better be ready to go. It's your time. Yeah, that's
You
amazing.
better suck it up, buttercups.
So
Yeah.
have you ever had to protect yourself? Like, I mean, in Iowa we carry, so it's not that like, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever had to like go that far? Or they just
Nope.
know, hey, I'm protected and I will protect myself.
Yeah, no, I've never been scared like that to ever, pull a weapon or anything. No, absolutely not. That's like the last thing. I mean, I will have something on me, but I've never used one ever out there in the field. It's not needed. I don't go out there with that mindset. Like, oh, I'm gonna, I'm ready to go, blow something up or whatever, like, or try me cryptids,
Right.
like, I'm not like that. I'm just, I don't even think about it. Like it's not even on my mind, but I will have something in case I need it, but like I've never needed it. And I've been in some sticky situations too, but that was never even, well, I'm not gonna say it's never been on my mind to use it, but I just didn't. They say that if you were to ever shoot a Bigfoot or a dogman, I mean, you might as well kiss everything goodbye at that point, because you might see one and you might have had a confrontation with one of them, but there are multiples waiting in the shadows, and that is the truth. And I stand by that. I know that's a fact. They're usually not out there by themselves, and they'll get you. They'll follow you home too.
I was gonna say, how do you do clearings? How do you not? Because it's like you go to paranormal. I had
Good luck
something
with that.
attached one time, and it came up. It was bearing its teeth. It took me like a month to get rid of it. That was the only time. And I'm like, every time, like, you stay here, you have to take complete control. You show an ounce of fear, and you're coming home with something. It's like, how do you do clearings? How do you keep it from coming home with you?
I mean, well, it's not all spiritual. It is spiritual, but it's also flesh and blood. Okay, too. It's flesh and bone, and these things are real beings, real creatures, and yes, they will follow you home sometimes. And I've heard some really bad stories about that happening. If you ever get a chance to go over and listen to Dogman Encounters with Vic Cundiff, it's a good buddy of mine.
Oh yeah, Vic's coming on. Yeah.
Oh good, I love
him.
Vic.
Yeah.
Tell Vic I said what's up. He's the
I'm
best.
going to, yeah, and also Rob, Michigan Rob.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
really
cool
getting into that.
Bigfoot
I've been like,
stories.
I've been out there. I've had the smells. I've had whatever. I've seen like the stick, but I haven't encountered anything yet. But it's intense. It's different than paranormal because I don't like. You're out in the woods. You're like, man, there's a lot of places to hide out here. There's a lot of places, and you're like, well, who would be hiding out there? There's people out there. Yeah, you have to be careful. But yeah, it is. Yeah. You have to be pretty. You're pretty brave, Jessica.
Well, thank you.
I love it. Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, well, it comes down to, I like to say, like, not having fear. Like, I mean, I've been inoculated. You want to call it inoculated to all the high strangeness. Like from the very beginning, I was put in really freaking weird predicaments out there where I was Bigfoot bait. And I did have cloaked figures running up to me and knocking my legs out from under me. I've had a lot of, I mean, it's been nonstop weirdness and high strangeness since I started. And I grew up experiencing paranormal stuff. So like I'd seen ghosts, I've had experiences with ETs before. And so, I mean, when I started doing the remote viewing training, shortly after I began learning remote viewing, I was at home and I'd wake up at night and there'd be ETs in my bedroom. And so I was 100% tuned in to that frequency at that point. Once I started going to the woods and doing the Bigfoot research, we're having the missing time, we're seeing the UFOs. We're having a lot of weird activity with ET stuff going on. And then suddenly they start showing up in my bedroom at night now, twice that I remember. I'm sure it was more than that, but I just remember twice. But here's the thing, Coley. So like when I was little, I used to wake up, not super little, but like as a young woman, like younger, teenage up, I would wake up and there would be people standing by my bed.
So you have that connection too. I was born, I could see spirits. It was always like, from, I remember as far back as like 5'4", it was just kind of, it evolved, so you have that connection too then. I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been seeing ghosts and stuff since I was a kid. And
wow.
So I would wake up at night and there'd be like people standing by my bed and talking to me, but their mouths would not move. Okay. But I could hear what they were saying in my head. So there was a telepathic connection there. Well, as a grown ass woman, okay, like
they're invasive though. Did you
they
kept coming? Is at a certain point I had to learn how to control it. It was like they wanted me to do this. They wanted me to do that. It was incessant at one point. Wow.
Yeah.
And if people say that, they're like, you wake up and there's people in your bed. It's normal. Okay. When you see this stuff all the time, it doesn't scare you like it should,
right.
People don't understand.
You're inoculated to it. You're inoculated. Well, it's just like with the Bigfoot stuff with me. It's like I've been doing this for so long now. It's like it's not that scary. There are places I go that are not. It's good to have a little healthy dose of fear because that'll save your life. Okay, you need to have the awareness and stuff. So, but I was having all that happening with like the people in my room when I was a kid. But then when I started having the ETs in my bedroom, I started making this weird connection that was like, well, maybe it was always ETs. But the thought projected in my head was like a screen memory, and I thought it was people in Victorian era clothing. But maybe it was ETs the whole time.
That's a restless era, though. Anytime I've gone into paranormal, the 1800s, that is a restless era. There's always something going on. Yeah, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Wow.
Restless era. I like that.
Well, I always think like I was working at this fireworks store, which is kind of weird, but it was out in the kind of the middle of nowhere. And this guy came and he was so desperate to find his daughter. And I like, there was a customer coming in and I thought, okay, here we go, and all of a sudden he banged on the side of it. It was like this fireworks in a trailer, which sounds really dangerous, but it was, I don't know, at one time. Yeah. It was
that
like,
risky.
Fireworks.
I like it.
Yeah, right. That was the perk of it. But yeah, he was like, boom, boom. And the guy's like, what's that? And I was like, nothing. It's just kind of like, let's just get, because he was
Oh,
that desperate.
wow.
But it was that it's always that era that they're I don't know. It definitely is a restless era. Definitely.
Wow.
I got confused too, because it wasn't until I was older where I experienced ET. It wasn't until like 2017, but it was always paranormal. And I'm like, was I seeing this? Was I seeing that? Are they coming? And then it's kind of like, what do you trust? Like, am I
Yeah.
seeing what it is? What is the connection? I've sat and I've thought about that for so long. What do you
Mhm.
think it is?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any answers to any of this. Okay, but I do know that there's some kind of weird connection now in my mind of like these ETs and the ghosts. I think that maybe sometimes the ghosts are the ETs.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I think what the head of my team always said was all roads lead back to ET.
that's so true too. That is so
And
true.
that's with everything. That's the spiritual community, the cryptids, everything. It's like there's some kind of connection to ETs. There is. And that's just what we have determined and what my belief is. And it's been my experience. That's why that's my belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I when you say that, then that's what I wondered too. I'm like, man, maybe this whole time it was like ET, but the first craft I saw wasn't until 2017. It was I was 30 feet away, 50 foot in diameter, and then I was like standing on a hill. That thing was like 15. It was intense. You don't leave the same way. Like I
No,
knew
you
from
don't.
that point on, I was like, man, there's no question in my mind that really it was right there. I mean, it was so intense. It shook the power lines, and I was like, whoa, what do I do? It's like slowly creeping over, and there's nowhere to hide. You can't hide. I was like, all right, here we go. It's just kind of like that thing. But how did you get connected to Bigfoot? I mean, what was the connection? Did the family connection, or just like, did you experience it? Just think it was like crazy awesome. You wanted to go out and have fun, or because you're so connected. You're like, I mean, this is your life. You live
It
the
is
Cryptid
now.
Huntress. Yeah.
I know, right? It is now. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it's amazing.
it was weird because I didn't go out looking for Bigfoot. Like it wasn't that popular back when I started doing it. And here's how I got into it. We used to go to this weekly meetup at this man's house. This guy, his name was Mr. Sam, and his wife's name was Verlene, or his girlfriend. I think it was his girlfriend. I don't know, whatever, it was his partner. And Sam and Verlene were the coolest. They had this house in Smyrna, Georgia, and they would have a weekly meetup on Wednesday nights. They bring different speakers in, and it was really like the top, in my opinion, it was like the top echelon of like the biggest like esoteric folks in Atlanta and stuff would like go, just friends showing up and hanging out. Some of the top names in UFOs, like my mom was the one that started going, and then she would bring me along, and like we were just like a big old family over there with all these folks, and we just would meet new people every week. And I didn't go every week, but she did. She went more than I did.
So your mom connected you. I didn't.
Yes.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Well, my mom and I both have, I grew up in a very psychic family. My mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great aunt, they would never say they were psychic, but they were. And I come from a long line of like psychic women and men, as a matter of fact.
Oh wow,
and
men are really powerful, and they have that ability.
Yeah.
So, what's your heritage? I have Irish heritage, and that's where I traced it back to my great aunt. She was able, she like saved it's in the heritage, saved the family from the potato famine or something, like that.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, that's where I get it from. But growing up like this, my mom was not in tune. And like she literally, I mean, there was a point where she was so freaked out when I was telling her stuff. I pointed out who her aunt was, what happened. She's like, wanted to call a priest. And haven't, I'm like, I'm not crawling the walls here.
Oh my
God.
God.
You know what I mean? So I started to kind of like take it back, and I tell people, I'd be like, I had a dream. Okay. I had a dream that because it really was like a taboo topic growing up. It really was. So that's awesome that you have a mom. I had a grandma that was like that. So do you have what's your heritage? Do you have a connection to like the Native American, to the Irish? I always think that there's like that seems like that the site comes from that era, but
it does. Well, okay, so my last name is Jones, so I am Scottish Welsh, okay, and English as well. And I mean, I've got a little bit of everything, okay, but mostly European. Yeah. Scottish, Welsh, and English are my main DNA background, I guess.
That's what I have Scottish. And English.
Scottish Welsh. Yes, and English. So I don't know. So my great grandmother and my great aunt grandmother Emily and Aunt Charlotte. Call her Aunt Charlotte. Okay. They lived up in North Georgia. And back in 1982 or so, I don't remember that's the exact year, but in the early 1980s, they were highly, highly religious. I remember going to their house and they had like the 10 Commandments in their front yard. You know what I mean? Highly, highly religious. And they were driving down a highway in Rome, Georgia, in Floyd County, Georgia, back in the 1980s. They said that a light came down over their car. Now, they never talked about this ever freely, but if we asked about it, I was told about it and I asked about it and they told me. But they said that a light came down from the sky and it enveloped their entire car. And they said the next thing they knew, they were still driving, and it was that they had lost time. They were, 20 miles down the road in another county, and an hour or two had passed, and they don't know how they got there or where the time went. They were completely confused, but they were still driving, and they both came to at the same time. And they're like, where are we? And they attributed that to angels taking them out of harm's way. They said it was angels.
Oh.
It wasn't.
Have you ever had
ETs.
missing time? Like where
Heck
you
yeah, I have.
All right, too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I watched the clock one time. It was like flash. There was 3 of them, like in my kitchen. I don't know why. Microwave, and I was watching them because it was really weird. All of a sudden, I was up late. It was like, I think it was like 5 in the morning. I was looking. I couldn't sleep. Just moved, and I saw them. It was flashing. All of a sudden, 3, and it went from 5 to 5:40, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, I even called the power company to see if it was something like that, but it was nothing. It was like on a Sunday. I was like, oh my God, that's really weird. Where did I go? So you think it's a protective thing?
That's what they said. I don't. I think that they were abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Have you had markings?
Have I?
Yeah.
I can't say I have, but I have had recordings. Okay, so this all stems back to that first expedition that I ever went on, Bigfooting. And there was one night where, the first night I was out there, I was Bigfoot bait. I had something run up behind me that was invisible, and it knocked my legs out from underneath me, and it ran past me, and I could feel it and I could hear it, but there was nothing there. Okay, there's nobody. You couldn't see it. I was initiated. That Bigfoot or whatever that was initiated that night, and so was I. And it was so crazy that I'm here today talking with you about it. Okay, because I would have, if all that hadn't happened, I would not have pursued staying on that, out there doing Bigfooting anymore. But it was so addicting. It was addictive. And but the second night that I was out there for a while. Okay, and but the second night I was out there, we went to that same field where I had that cloaked Bigfoot thing or whatever that was that ran up, knocked my legs out. We went out there and we had a plan to sit out in this field from 3:30 in the afternoon. We were out there till almost 1 in the morning. It was after midnight. We were out there. Well, my buddy JT and I were going to go sit out there, wear our camo. He had on a ghillie suit and I had on all camo and stuff. And we were just going to go sit out there and blend into the environment, get into the tree line where we had seen there's a Bigfoot that had poked his head out from behind a tree right in front of me the night before. And we were like, well, let's go sit out there. Let's sit out there all day. Around 9 o'clock at night, the whole team will come out there in the field and bring their chairs and make noise and make a commotion. We're hoping that the Bigfoots will walk down that game trail and step on top of me and him while they're trying to look at the team. That was our plan. Okay, so we sat out there all day, and I took my voice recorder out there. I had my K2 meter and ghost hunting equipment with me and stuff.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I love those. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I used to take all my ghost hunting equipment with me, but I had a voice recorder that I turned on as soon as the sun went down. I turned it on, and I had it on my knee, sitting there, and I was sitting up against the tree. JT was on one side of the tree, and I was on the other. We had our backs to each other, but we were sitting there kind of talking. You can hear us talking in this recording. And after the sun went down, it was about an hour or so later, the energy shifted as soon as the sun went down. It got weird. And we're looking up at the sky, and you could hear us talking about how there's stars up in the sky, but they were moving in triangular patterns. So like airplanes, but they were moving in triangular patterns. So that wasn't an airplane. So we saw that, and then all of a sudden this light shows up on the side of the mountain beside us, and it's this big bright light, and it's moving in a horizontal direction from right to left and left to right, back and forth. And we're like, what is that? Is that like headlights from a car? Like, is it somebody carrying a lantern through the woods? Like, is there a trail over there? Like, we're trying to figure out, what is this light? That doesn't make any sense. And couldn't figure out what this light was. Okay, but we realized eventually that it was above the tree line, and it was something floating. And so you could hear us talking about that, and then all of a sudden in this recording, we go deathly quiet. We'd been kind of whispering and talking for a while. We went quiet, and that's about the time we had seen that orb, and then we were just watching it, and then we got quiet, and then all of a sudden, there's no noise from either of us, which was weird because I don't remember that. I remember kind of talking the whole time, whispering. And then all of a sudden it sounds like bottle rockets are shooting off all around us in this recording that I have, or I had. I had a recording. The recording self-deleted as soon as we listened to it. But these sounds of it was like, pew, 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 pew. It was like all around us. Bottle rockets going off. But see, we never heard that with our ears, ever, when we were out there. But it was in the recording, and he and I were totally silent. So obviously something put us to sleep or knocked us out or something. But that's when we had missing time. And we knew that we had missing time because around that same time we looked down, we were checking our equipment. We had recording devices. We had, our watches on, the clocks on our devices. And his had gone forward an hour and mine had all gone backwards an hour. And so that didn't make sense either. So
what the heck? So this is like, do you feel like it's kind of like a vortex that's created, or a portal that's coming, or what do you think is happening when that happens? It's crazy when you experience something like that. It's like, man, what was that? Like, what happened to that time? I mean, it's clearly like a chunk of time missing.
It was weird. All roads lead back to ET. That's what it was. That's what I think. So okay. So the team came out there that night, by the way. And they came out and they made all this noise. They had like drums or something. I can't remember. They had something. They had some like older ladies that were with the group, some friends out there, and they were like doing all these tonal frequencies, like singing and humming and stuff. It was kind of funny. Like we were out there kind of giggling about it, listening to all the noise they were making. And me and JT thought it was kind of funny, and we were just hoping that Bigfoot would come walk out and step on us. And
you're really brave. Oh my God, I'm just envisioning this.
It was so fun. God, it was my first time ever out there Bigfooting, the first weekend, and it was just crazy activity all weekend. And so, but we were sitting out there. It was getting really late, and I was getting really tired. I'd been there all day, and there was no Bigfoot activity. But at some point, the people that were out there saw some red lights in the woods, and they thought that it was me and JT because they didn't know where we were hiding. We didn't tell anybody where we were going to be hiding. And so they were looking at these lights. Well, it turns out these red lights were about 10 feet from where we were sitting, and they weren't us. So that was the last thing that happened. We were out there. We eventually.
I had something fly behind me. I don't know if you just saw that or not. Where'd you go? That was crap. Well, I don't know what just happened.
Was it
you were staying around there? Did you
was
see
it
it
an
just
orb?
fly?
No.
Oh my God. I was like, something just flew behind me. I don't know what it
Ooh,
is.
we're gonna have to rewind that.
No, yeah.
We'll go back and watch.
Something came down. I was like, holy crap.
What's the timestamp on this?
Wow. Yeah, what time was it? Oh, yeah.
Let's get the timestamp.
That was crazy. Do you want to know what happened here the other night, though?
Yeah.
There's
What
something
happened?
going on. My dresser, it's like 5 drawers, right? It's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden you hear this crash, and I was like, what the hell was that? All of the drawers were on the ground. All of the stuff that was on there was on the ground, and the whole frame still stood there. And I was like, what the hell was that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's scary.
So the other night when I was on a show, a lady, Laura, who Whispering Portals, she's not in this chat tonight. She's like, she's kept seeing stuff. She's going to, and then we heard a laugh come over. And I was like, what in God's name is that? There's nothing else playing. But if you kind of hear now, do you have any background noise? Because there's nothing in my background, and I can hear something. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
I don't hear it.
You don't hear it?
I don't know.
So I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'll timestamp it. Yeah. Because this is
we're
getting weird. There's something going on here. I'm like, oh my God.
Something going on.
Yeah, that was weird. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Where's the sage?
Right?
Open a window.
No, for real. And oh God, it even gets weirder. but I was like, what is going on here? And it's literally like, this has been this week that it's really been going on. I'm like, man, I don't know what's happening, but yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
It's the ET.
Yeah, right.
It's the ETs. You're going to get visited. You're having some missing
Oh.
time right now. I don't know. We're
That
live.
was so
So
weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully you haven't portaled out again. You did portal out that one time earlier. So I don't know what happened there. You might have had some missing time.
Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna have to go back and this is crazy. I'll definitely short some of these. Like this is. I was like behind me. All of a sudden, I heard a crash, and I was like, "So yeah, I apologize. I don't even know. I don't even know where we're at."
You don't gotta
But then
apologize.
yeah,
Shoot.
like 4 days ago is when the dresser thing happened. So I'm just like, man, what is going on
Oh my
here? It's so
God.
crazy.
Well, dang. Yeah. That's yeah, get the holy water. I'm just kidding.
No, I've had haunted things before. Like I had one thing they were gonna take to the place. It was really bad. It was like it got to the point where I think it trapped my arm, and my son is like, I wanted to get it out of there. I said, Brody, you gotta help me get this out. It's we traced it back to Area 51. It was a meter. I'm trying to think of what exactly it was called. A voltmeter. It was like this box. So I took holy water to it and a cross like that was on it, and I sprayed it with holy water because it was setting off electronics. It was shorting out, like, I mean, radios were going off that weren't even on. Phones started playing. I mean, it was just it was weird. My son's like, oh, I'm not afraid of it. So he sat there. All of a sudden, I leave the room and you hear this huge boom. The chair broke he was sitting on, and I was like, okay, Brody, we're getting this out. So I sprayed it. The lid breaks off. The cross spins around, and I was like, it was like something out of a movie. And then it was gone.
Gosh.
It was gone. And I was like, where the hell, what would I do? And I remember talking to, who was I talking? Drew Banky. He's like, go take it, throw it in the fire. I said, I don't even know if I can make it there. I'm afraid of what it will do. And I've never been afraid of something like that. But I was in my car, and I was reaching down, and the seat went forward. I was right in front of the house. I swear to God, it was this box. And I was trapped in there for like 20 minutes, Jessica, on the side. Yeah, I swear to God. I swear. This whole stuff, I like feel like
was your arm being held down or something?
Yeah, it was like this. Nobody could see me because I was like down, decked down. I reached over to the side seat, and I was like reaching down in the thing, and the seat goes forward. It wasn't even near it, and I was trapped for like 20 minutes in there. I thought I was gonna break my arm. Yeah, that's when I sprayed it with holy water. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, it was so weird. And I was like, man, you gotta do some clearings. I shouldn't even like talk about it because I just had something fly behind me and a dresser fly out. So apparently there's really something going on here. But how do you clear this out? I gotta get rid of
my gosh.
Yeah, it's not even like
know.
this has been this week. It's been really crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a neighbor that's kind of going crazy. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta put some good energetic protection. Put an energetic bubble around you for sure, and your home. Get it all out of there. I would sage the crap out of my house first of all, but I know sage doesn't always work. That's what some people say, but yeah, just
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna
pray,
do something.
man.
This was
prayers.
Like, yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is getting weird even for me, but yeah,
it is. I mean, I lived in a super haunted house, just like that. Actually, when I lived in Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta for over 20 years, downtown Atlanta, and I lived in different areas of Atlanta, like downtown. And there was one area I lived right off Ponce de Leon, is what we call it, Ponce Highlands. And I lived in this old historical house, and I lived down in the basement, and I had the most horrible hauntings going on down there. And it was like, I would come home at night and there'd be a literal blanket of black flies on my ceiling that went from the front door all the way down the hallway to my doorway where my apartment was.
Oh my God, there's flies here. I killed like 10 or 15.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm on the country. So what is it with the black flies? There's something.
It was not good. It was not good at all. I mean, I remember walking down the sidewalk to like my apartment, and I used to go out. It was like in the bar district, and like my friends would come over and they'd crash on my couch and stuff. Sometimes if people had been drinking or whatever, I was young and free.
Oh yeah,
wild and free back then.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, those are the fun days. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And so, my one of my best friends, Whitney and I, every time something crazy would happen, she was always with me. It was like we caused like poltergeist activity or something. She and I together. And, but we were walking down to the apartment door and we could hear a buzzing sound. I was like, what in the hell is that? Do you hear that? And we looked, there was a window in the door, like up high. And I left the light on in the hallway. There's another girl that lived in an apartment down that same hallway, but like she lived right by the door and I lived at the end of the hallway. And And so we kept the light on usually at night, and I looked down through that window, and it was just and it looked different because it was so dark. And I looked up, I couldn't figure out like what was different about it. It was dark in there, even though the light was on. And then I realized there was something on the ceiling, but I couldn't figure out what I was looking at because it was so foreign. And I opened up the door, and there was literally there was not 1 inch of ceiling that you could see. It was all flies, and they were stacked on top of each other. And it was, I mean, I still don't understand
deal with the
how that happened.
I don't either.
There was
Before the
nothing
show,
dead, nothing rotten.
oh god, yeah. Before the show, I'm not even joking. I was like, okay, maybe it's like a farm. This is the first year I've lived here. It's out in the middle of nowhere. But there were I took my body spray, and I was like, literally, I probably killed. I'm like, what is going on here? This is insane. I don't even know where they would come from.
You need a bug assault. You need a bug assault weapon. You know those bug assaults?
No, I'm gonna get something.
Get a bug assault.
Just this week. It's just this week, and I was like, so I'm a little creeped out. Like, yeah, okay, because so my son's dad died when he was 18 months. I mean, it's okay. But what happened was before is this stuff was happening. And we had all this activity. The garage is going up. I had a toothbrush and like this toy. And I'm like, he even said, he's like, man, did we bring something back from Christmas from your grandparents? And I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Like we would talk about it in this toy, be like, burn, and it never, electronics were going crazy. And then I just had this sinking feeling. And then he died like 2 days later. I remember calling my aunt. I was like, somebody's going to die. And I thought it was my grandpa. And I was like, so I was like putting pictures. This is how, like, I get the death dream, and it's like a month, usually within a month. This was a few days. And I just remember my aunt saying, she's like, it's always who you least expect.
Oh, no.
And here's Brody's dad. Yeah, it was insane. It was totally insane. And I was like,
sorry. That's terrible.
No, it's okay. It's been like, my son's 17 now, so it's been a while. But it's traumatic back then. I do appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
But this activity, and I'm like, well, okay, now what the hell is going on? I'm just, it gives me that like eerie feel. I got to get rid of whatever's here, unless it's like a warning. I don't know, but the flies are here too. They're like, I don't even know what to explain. But I thought it was maybe just the country or stuff like that. But there's nothing here that would even attract them. And it's just been this week.
Well, as long as it's not a blanket of flies on your ceiling, hopefully it's not as bad.
What did you do with that?
Well, I just ran. I ran under. I was like, duck, take cover. We're running for the door.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, we opened the door, and I was like, shh, shit, I don't know what to do. Let's just run to the door. And so, I ran first, and I unlocked the door, and I went in, and we shut it really quick. And we could hear the buzzing from inside my apartment. We could hear it. We could literally hear it. But it was really late at night. I mean, it had to be like 3 or 4 in the morning. It was late. It was like the bars were closing. That's why I'd, wandered back to the apartment.
Oh yeah, I like
the club. Like we used to go to MJQ in Atlanta. Y'all, if anybody's from Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we had
MJQ.
the cage and dancing. Oh yeah, it was so much fun. It was so
man. We used to have so much fun out there. But we had we just it was late, and so it was not the only thing that ever happened in the house. There was a lot of haunted stuff that happened there, but that was one of the worst. It happened twice, like I said, and we could hear the buzzing, and then it was like we ended up going to sleep that night, and then we woke up the next day, and all the flies were gone, and there were a couple of dead flies on the floor, and that was it. I don't know where they went. There's other times where I was like, I had a cat at the time named Mayu, and I was had his food underneath the kitchen counter, and this was called a shotgun house. Okay, so it's long. So like the living room, the kitchen, and then the bedroom. It was like a small apartment. But it was like all in like doom, like, okay, all in one line, right?
Right.
And it was just like from the front to the back. And I had a big back porch on the back of the apartment, but it was still, it wasn't that huge. But I was bent down picking up some cat food from underneath my kitchen sink, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye coming from around the door in my bedroom towards me. And I looked back because, here I am thinking, well, what if somebody's running out from my bedroom to like attack me, and, but it was just a black mass that was floating in the air, and it was like moving fast, and it looked like a cloud, but it was like pure black, like a really dark mass. And it flew past me and shoved me down into my cabinet where I fell down into my cabinet, and then it kept going, and it went into my closet in the front living room. And that's like where the laundry room was on the other side. And it was like, it was really creepy in there. I hated going in there at night, especially. But yeah, that place is super haunted. Yeah.
I don't know, like, yeah, it is crazy. Like, you think, and it's just been since I moved. I like had to, there's a little bit of a back end story that's even weirder behind here. But I don't know what the hell's going on. It's crazy when stuff like that happens. So how'd you get it out?
I got out.
You got out.
I didn't get it out.
I'm thinking too.
I was, yeah, well, I was just renting, you know, and I actually had the capability of like moving. I lived all over the place. And when it was time to leave, it was time to leave. I mean, I liked that place, but it was just not safe. And it was when my little brother at the time, and my brother actually moved me out of there. He came over one day. He was like, I'm getting you out of here. He said, this is horrible. He's like, you got to quit living here. And he came over and helped me move one day. And I moved to another part of Atlanta, another part of town, just about a mile or two down the road. And shortly after that, my brother died in a car accident.
Oh, and, God.
And so then his ghost came and visited me. He actually came and visited me the week that he died.
I'm so sorry. Oh my God. That's
okay. It's been almost 20. It'll be 20 years in January since he died. So that's how, I mean, that was a long time ago.
Oh man. I feel for you there. It is. But you know, it's like, I remember my cousin died too. And when she did, like, all of a sudden I woke up, it was like, bang, bang, bang. She's like, she offed herself or whatever, but she came, she's like, can you believe what I did? And I was like, Andrea, what are you doing? This is crazy. Yeah. But it's like, almost like you get that sense that you're able to communicate with them. It's not like you can like go and visit them. They come and go kind of, but it's such a beautiful connection that your brother, he came.
He did. God. He showed up the week that he died. It was, I was actually I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was at his house. His house was super haunted too, by the way. And I used to stay up at night watching like somebody pacing back and forth in his living room. I could see it. You know, I could see it in like the window, like the reflection. It was just really weird.
Do you think that it was like a heightened activity? Like this is like a warning that something was going to happen with your brother, or?
It was residual. It was an old haunted house. I mean, that he just lived in the old train yard in downtown Atlanta and stuff. So, but yeah, when my brother died, that was really, really difficult, of course. And,
oh my God.
And I was at his house, and I remember I woke up, something woke me up, and I opened up my eyes and I saw these green lights, like these balls of light, green light, just kind of circling around and like kind of floating all around me. And they were like on the floor kind of beside me, and they started forming into, this is wild because they formed into my brother's Timberland boots. He had on these boots and his jeans, and then his like Tommy Hilfiger butt polo shirt in his arm.
The Tommy Hilfiger,
It was him. Yeah, it was,
oh, God.
My brother, from the floor, from his feet to the top of his head, the green lights, the orbs formed into his body.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like trying to figure out, like, am I dreaming? Like, what is this? But I was wide awake, and it went after it formed into his whole body, and he's sitting there, he's like glowing green right beside me. He like bent down and like sat on the bed beside me, and I closed my eyes because he started leaning over towards me. I closed my eyes and he kissed me on my forehead.
Oh God, that's so beautiful. But that's horrible. Oh God. I remember Brody's dad came. It was his second birthday, and I was in the bathroom, and I was so freaking mad at him. But his death is still unresolved. Nobody really knows what happened. He's raw. I mean, it was a crazy situation. But yeah. And I saw him in full form, and I was so mad at him. I was like, Billy, like, I told you if something like this ever happened, you know, I was really upset. Like it was crazy, but he came, it was like, and then my brother had it, and he's like, when he died, and he's like, he was at the end of my bed. He kept mouthing something. I couldn't understand. And then he said he felt this wind. It was like, whoa, right over top of him. And I was like, so everybody's like, what are you trying to say? And then it came through like he was sorry, you know, but it wasn't really his fault. Like, but he was kind of trying to help a situation, and it ended up like, I don't know. It was crazy. It was so many years ago, but it's so unresolved. Like his body was robbed. People were wearing his glasses and a sweatshirt the next day it was insane. Some of the stuff. Yeah. And so it was like, it was so traumatic, because when something like that happens, I'm sure with your brother too, it's like when that kind of death happens, you're not okay for a little bit. I mean, it shakes, it changes everything. It's not
It
even
does.
like that person. It's a person you were. You're not the same. Nobody is the
Exactly.
same.
Yeah, that
Wow.
version of you like died with
Mhm.
them.
Right?
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have died many times this lifetime already.
So
Like
true.
that version, like all the versions of me, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, just like you, like we've all, people in the chat, everybody listening, like we've all been through a lot.
Yeah.
I know a lot of us have. That's why we're all here today listening to
Absolutely.
this. We all have a common bond here. We're on the same
Yep.
frequency today. At this moment, we were all on the same frequency together.
Oh,
right
so
now.
true.
Yeah, and whatever
It's
we've been through has
amazing.
led
It's
up
so
to
nice
this.
to connect though on that level and to know, because when you experience grief at that level, it's like
Mhm.
nothing that you can even, you just connect with, you know, it's like I always say I have such a special place in my heart for that. I mean, I do. It's just like, you don't grieve just the person dying, you grieve the person you were. And then I picked up
Yes.
traits. Like I picked up Billy's traits that I used to annoy me when he was alive. And then here I am. It's crazy. Did you ever notice anything like that? It's
Oh my
just,
gosh.
yeah.
I
It's
mean, I
insane.
wish I had picked up my brother's trait. He was awesome, man. I mean,
Aw.
I've had so many people in my life die. So many. I mean, I even had a boyfriend about, what was it, 5 years before my brother died. My boyfriend died. He committed suicide.
Oh, God. Do you know that
And
I don't have a boyfriend that's, well, I
Yeah.
maybe have one or two, but and it wasn't even that I was with him, my prom date, dead. Like, I'm not joking. I had a stream. There was 14 people within like 2 years that died. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I get what
same.
you're saying. What do you think that's all about? Like, I don't understand why we're here. Just like,
Man,
we're not
and
just like trauma. Like, what's
it is
going on here?
really well that's something that actually connects a lot of the especially us that experience the paranormal stuff is trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was talking to Katie Page. You remember Katie?
Oh yeah.
Katie has been out to the meadow with my team and stuff. I love Katie to death. Katie's my
Oh
friend.
yeah, she's so sweet.
And we've spent a good time together. And she and I have talked about that before, about how trauma connects is one of the connecting factors of the paranormal and in the having encounters with cryptids, even, and all that. Like there's something that deals with the trauma. Maybe it's just like puts us in a different frequency, or maybe it's the empathy that we obtain from like the experiences that we've been through. I mean, I don't know. It just opens us up to something.
I was into the paranormal before, it's like I had that gateway, obviously see spirits, it's like you have that gateway, but when you go through something like that, it does open you up. It really does. And it breaks you in every single way. And then you have to put that all back together. And it's like when that keeps continuing, I mean, like I feel like every time you're right, every time somebody died, I feel like a part of me died too. That is so true.
Well, earlier you were asking about like my family lineage and like my mom being psychic, or my mom being cool and open to all this stuff too. And us going to those meetings on Wednesdays. Well, that's how I found my Bigfoot research group. Those guys came to talk at that Wednesday meetup. And my mom was like, hey, Jessica, you might want to come hear them. It should be interesting. There's some Bigfoot researchers that are coming. And that's how I got into Bigfooting. I went to Mr. Sam's house and I met those guys, and they invited me on an expedition. And now I'm here today doing this, and I'm training remote viewing because of them. And I do what I do today because of them.
You're amazing at remote viewing. I just want to say, like,
you.
do you think, like, I always look for answers. I was like, why did this happen? Why? And I remember I got something came to me, and they're like, if it's too, basically, it's like you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing. Like it's like your path, that shifts you so quickly. And I know when I experienced ET, nothing was the same. Like as soon as I saw that craft, like I was a therapist. I was a children's therapist. I was trained by Dr. Daniel Hughes in dyadic developmental psychotherapy. Like I was very good at what I did. And it was like this trauma, kids with reactive attachment disorder. It's something different now, but that's what I dealt with. But it changed me. I was like, now look at what I'm doing. It's like I live for this stuff, and I think like, if this didn't happen and that didn't happen, maybe it's to put us on our path, or I don't know.
It is. That's exactly what it is. And, and if it hadn't been for us losing my brother, like my mother and I both were searching for a connection to my brother in the afterlife after he died. And I was also doing that because of my boyfriend. His name was Justin. Justin had died back in 2001. He died right before the September 11th stuff happened. He died in July.
Oh, wow.
And then September 11th happened. It was like trauma. Like, it was so much trauma in my life at that point.
Oh,
just
God,
from that.
yeah.
And then like the 9/11 stuff happened, and it was just like, like the whole world was all the energies were wild back in
Oh, yeah.
2001. And so, you know, we were kind of searching. That's when I got really interested in like the ghost hunting. I'd seen ghosts before, and I was always interested in like the paranormal and monsters and the ETs and all that, and you know, psychics and you know, tarot cards and stuff. And my mom and I were my mom wanted to go to like this thing. I think it's called the Big Red Barn in Atlanta or something, like the Phoenix and Dragon, all these like esoteric events that were happening. And she was like, hey, let's go, you know, come with me. You know, me and my friends are going to go get our tarot cards read and stuff. She was like, come on, you know, Christopher Moon is going to be at Phoenix and Dragon. He's got a ghost box to the dead. You should sign up for it and stuff. So my mom was always encouraging me to go do all this stuff with, and she wanted to do it too.
That was my grandma. She took me to like chakra things at like 12. I remember them doing
that.
seances when I was like 5, and they'd be in the other room, but you can see right in, you know, it's like, so you know, I had a grandma that was crazy like that. I loved it though.
Yeah. I love
my mom was not, they were so Catholic and religious. Like, you know, I have a mom who wants to call a priest and my grandma who's taking me to seances. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was like the whole spectrum.
Any of me. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh my God. It just balanced itself out.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. Well, my mom was like very encouraging when it came to all this stuff, and always was. You know, I didn't come from a family where I got made fun of for being into ghosts and stuff. I mean, they were into it too. Like, even my dad's side of the family, they all lived in a haunted house that the Henderson side, like the Scottish side of my family, had built here, like a historical home in the part of the state in Georgia where I live. That house was very haunted, and they would talk about it all the time, about how Grandpa Henderson's house was haunted, and everybody experienced it. Everybody experienced the ghost there, and even my dad like woke up one night. He said that there was a woman sitting on his bedside dresser, and he thought it was me. He was like, he called me JJ. He was like,
on the dresser.
He was like, JJ, what are you doing here? It was back when I was in high school. He thought it was me, and he goes, JJ, what are you doing here? And I didn't say anything, but then he realized it was actually his grandmother or his great grandmother. But I think it was my great grandmother when she was my age. So it wasn't me; it was her. But she looked like me. And so,
wow.
So my dad admittedly saw ghosts and stuff.
That's my grandparents' house was haunted. I remember my dad, it was like Christmas or whatever, and he was back in the bedroom, and all of a sudden you hear this boom, and we're like, "What are you doing?" He threw his shoes at.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was crazy when my grandmother, she had this basement, and there was this bar. But it was like totally retro, like the 60s, you know, like the red carpet. But the bar, I mean, it's pretty expensive, but she had one of those Ouija boards with a real pan with the glass. Yeah, she said it levitated the table, so she got rid of it. I always was so obsessed with this, I don't know, because it was wooden and the glass. But I remember my cousin and I were in there, maybe like 11, 12. All of a sudden you hear this bang. Every freaking cabinet thing opened. And we're like, oh my God, let's get out of here. You know, but my grandma was very open. She'd be like, oh, who's here? Grandma's here, you know, why, you know, she's dead. Like, she's down the hall. So that part was normal, like growing up with my grandmother, my dad's side. But my mom's side, man, they were like ready to spray you with holy water. It's like, man, what do you do? But that is crazy. The haunted, you know, it is cool when you sit around. Like, I remember my cousin, she'd be like, let me read your palm. So it was like at Christmas time, but they're all dead, you know, not all dead, but they're most of them. And it's shifted. Like, do you get together with your family anymore? Or do you have like, my family's completely like fallen apart. We don't do that traditional stuff anymore. I miss it. Yeah, I know. Right.
Well, my bigger family, like cousins and aunts and uncles, no, we don't anymore actually. And it totally sucks, you know, but of course it's like, with the matriarch and the patriarch of the family, my grandparents have passed away. Both of them have passed away now as of this year. And I guess like, no, I mean, we really don't. I mean, I stay in touch with all my cousins, but since the grandparent, like the matriarch and patriarch died on both sides, like, no, it's just like, but thank goodness I have, you know, I got a sister and she's got a big family, and my mom and my dad and his, you know, wife and all her family. Like we still get together. You know, I still got a big family no matter what. I got a big family, but not with the extended cousins. You're
right. Because as soon as my grandparents died, that's when the traditional stuff died. They were the ones that held that whole thing together, the matriarchs, like you said.
Yeah. Wow. I miss that, but it's also a lot of work, and you got to cook extra food and stuff.
Yeah, right.
You know, I'm one of the cooks. We all cook for our
Oh, I
family
can't
get together.
cook.
So it's a little more convenient not having to cook for 5,000 people.
Yeah, no, yeah, that part of it. Yeah,
I don't
you got to
mind it.
have like a potluck or something. Bring your own
Yeah,
food.
we do potluck. Still got to cook a lot for all those
Oh
people.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, no, you're right about that. But I remember like it's just crazy because my grandparents, they'd be like ordering food, all this stuff, and there's always like that Christmas candy. We don't have that anymore. I'm like, man, I really miss that. Like
Yeah,
that, and I don't know how to even hold that together. It's like, yeah, I don't
I
even know if they have
know.
that stuff anymore. But I miss like the fruit cakes and like all that traditional stuff. But why do you think that is? We didn't hold it together. I feel like our generation. I feel like my parents failed at that. They should have taken that tradition on, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I don't know. I think it's different for everybody's families.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Families are different today, and not everybody is, it's just not convenient. I guess maybe that's what it is. It's just not as convenient, maybe, as it used to be. So, but my family does strive to keep family traditions going. And my sister, and I give a huge shout out to my sister for that. And so she actually bought my grandparents' house, one of my grandparents, and they have a bunch of property out in the country. And she's always made sure to keep some sort of a tradition for all of us by still having our family get-togethers at our grandparents' former house, which is her house now. So that's good. So yeah, I think it's important we do continue to do family stuff if you can, y'all.
So do you, with your brother, it sounds like you have a real, like a strong connection. Do you still kind of like feel him or communicate with him or?
I try not to. Oh yeah. I mean, I know I have like a whole, I call him my goon squad. I got my whole spiritual goon squad out there.
Oh yeah.
They know who they are. Listen, I've had so many of my best friends and my family pass away. I mean, literally, like,
yeah,
I'm going to say it's like 50-50, literally. Like I have 50% of my family and best friends are still here. And 50% of them have already died.
There's a group that I had. I'm the last man standing. And I'm like, man, they've all, and it's just like, I don't remember even my son. Okay. So in the past, 2 months, 2 of the moms of his children, of the children died. And I'm like, I remember going to school. You didn't hear about this stuff. Like it didn't happen. Like I remember maybe like one person lost their, but it's like now that people are, I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's weird. Yeah. And I'm like this. Yeah. And I'm really bad at dealing with I can't do wakes. I'm so traumatized. I think from when his dad died, like I literally will start shaking. I can't, my body, that cellular memory will start to kick in. And it's like, man, how do you even digest it? Like, how do you deal with that? I think a lot of people in the chat I'm looking that have lost, it's like this tragic loss. And I really it's so healing. I think everybody out there in the chat, it's amazing. And, Jessica too, sharing that experience, I feel like that happened for a reason. This conversation has been so great. I can't even tell you, it just that connection and to know somebody else has been through that is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is. It's good. It's healing. It is. And, the way I look at it, I mean, from an outsider looking in, if somebody were to observe me, which I know I live in the Truman Show, there's no telling who else observing me right now.
Right.
But if somebody were to really dig in and know exactly, nobody knows exactly what I'm going through. Yeah, everybody knows what they see. And I'm a very authentic, open person. I don't hide stuff, but I don't always choose to share everything. It's not, I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here today. Okay. I've been through a lot of trauma, a lot of stress, a lot of loss, and I've seen the worst side of life, and I choose not to dwell on that. I've been through a lot of therapy. Okay. And I've done a lot of healing with myself and my family and everybody. And I'm here. Okay. I'm here, and I'm a good version of myself.
And you're still standing strong. You're right. I digest so much too. And I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it because it's like, I don't even want to give it that power.
No, you don't. Well, you don't. Well, you don't. We're only here for a short while. Okay. And here's the thing, from an outsider looking in, they probably think when somebody dies now, I'm actually I don't react the way that I used to, because I know that I have a different relationship with death at this point, because we're all going to die. Okay. We're all going to die. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. And digesting that is okay. So
weird,
I have to ask you this, and I ask everybody because I'm so confused by this. So when you die, right? How do you not get sucked back in here? Like I
Oh
feel like
man.
everybody's like, don't go to the white light. I'm like, well, I've been sending people to the white light. Like that's how you
Mhm.
usually like when you go and do a clearing. Like as a medium, when I go through like ghost hunting groups, you know, it's like go to the white light. I'm like, man, I feel bad if that
Well,
come back
that's
in.
yeah. Well, that is it's kind of a hot topic right now because we've always been taught to go to the white light and
Yep.
like go and go with your loved ones into the white light, go into heaven, right? Well, but then there's other people that are like, no, it's a soul trap, and don't do that. So it can be a heated argument between people. So I trust myself enough to know that like my soul knows what to do. So
Yeah.
when I die, I don't worry about it because I know my soul will know what to do.
Navigate through. Yeah. It's like I always like even with the ET experiences, I tell myself, I'm like,
Yeah.
be conscious, because it's like when you go, you have to like I literally like prep myself. I'm like, okay, smell, feel, what's the environment like? Is it cold? Is it warm? So you're more conscious. It's like that awareness of yourself. So
Yeah.
I feel like when you guys go, like just don't shoot off anywhere. Like let's just navigate through this a little bit and please come to us if you do, because I really am the other side. But there's like, I know with the communication, there's always that block. There's certain things they can't do, or they can't say, or it's blocked from coming. Do you find that too?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of separate myself. I know this sounds kind of weird. I don't know. I don't think about it too much,
Right.
I guess. I know it sounds kind of weird. Like I don't think about it too much. I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. Like I know, here's the thing, like I said earlier, like I have this really weird connection with death at this point. And I don't freak out as much now. Like, listen, if it was somebody like my child or something, or like a niece or nephew,
God, yeah.
or like even my mom or my sister or my dad, it's going to be devastating if something were to ever happen to those people. Okay.
Oh, sure.
But like I said, I've had so many people around me that have passed away.
Yeah.
It's like, I know we're going to, they don't really die. I know that sounds weird.
No.
They're not still here. They're not here with us. But see, like, I don't just live in this dimension. I live in a bunch of different, I'm multi-dimensional. And so all I have to do is close my eyes. I got to just tune in. I'm super psychic. I just tune in. I go to sleep. I go to sleep at night, and I can spend all my entire waking or my sleeping time with those people. Okay. So it's just right there. Like, I don't look at it as like such a 3-dimensional thing anymore. Like, oh, they're gone now. Because I know that we're more than these physical bodies.
Yeah.
And so that's how I deal with it. And that's why I'm almost cold to it. Like, I'm kind of numb.
No, me too. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't, I don't go there.
Yeah.
Because if I do, then I'm like trapped.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's like, I don't think you can take this world too seriously, because the stuff that happens, and it's out of your control. There's some things you just don't, free will only goes so far. And it's like, like you said, death is inevitable, but to even digest it, like it's crazy, but you can't though. It's like, you don't go there. That is like the best advice I've heard in so long. So when you go, I have to ask this to you. You're an amazing remote viewer. I've watched your show. I always like sit back. I'm like, JJ's on, because I just have that connection. I have to ask you though. I've always wanted to ask you. Do you remember when Dave Scott got so mad at me when he had to go and meditate in the woods for 40 minutes before the meeting? Spaced Out Radio, I got in so much trouble.
That was funny. I don't remember him doing that, but that's funny. I can see him doing that.
Yeah, he said, you take your, yeah. He postponed.
God, we used to drive him nuts, didn't we? I think we all listen. I was there for like 3 years or something, and so like I saw a lot of different people come through there. So like from the time I started, it was a whole different group that would come through like to do after hours and stuff. Shout out to Dave Scott, by the way. I love you, Dave.
I love Dave Scott. I love him. I absolutely love him.
But listen, everybody drove Dave up the wall at some point. Everybody did. And Dave drove us up the wall too, probably.
Yeah. The Daveocracy. I remember. And I just remember he sent me this thing and he's like, I have to go. He sent everybody. And I was like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble.
Oh, yeah. He was always, calling those meetings. I was like, shit. Uh-oh.
He's like, if you take your mic off of mute. Like, and I was like, I'm not just... Everybody's like, you have to go meditate in the forest for 40 minutes. He was so mad at me.
Listen, I tried to be on my piece of Dave.
I love you. Yeah, he's amazing. Oh, it's so funny though. I had to ask you.
It was fun. Listen, I like I said, I saw a bunch of people, wonderful people, by the way, wonderful.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody was
yeah.
wonderful. All the different hosts, especially after hours and stuff. It changed through the course of just those 3 years. It was a lot, and it was always a fun time. It was always fun getting to meet everybody. And yeah, I mean, Dave taught me just about everything I know when it comes to the broadcasting side. I was at KGRA Digital Broadcasting before I went to Space Out Radio, so I learned a little bit from Bill. Shout out to Bill, KGRA.
Oh, that's awesome.
But Dave really took me under his wing, as he has.
No, he did. I love that we had that relationship, but man, I'm in that hot seat. You're in that hot seat.
You're in the hot seat. We all got put in the hot seat several times. Sometimes he had to make an example out of us.
Oh yeah. But it taught me too, like on certain things. And he was like, remember when he couldn't say podcasting? It was broadcasting.
Oh man, we couldn't say squatch over there. I was like, Dave, how am I going to come on your channel and I can't say squatch? Like, I'm a Bigfoot researcher. Yeah. I was like, oh, he had his nose up in there to the squatch. I finally got him to let me start saying squatch, because I was like, look, half the people I work with have YouTube channels that have squatch in their name.
Yeah.
Bring them on my show. So he finally lightened up about it, and I started saying squatch. You're welcome, world. You're welcome. We finally got. I was like, look, you're really closing yourself off to all these wonderful people who say squatch. It's just a word.
I can totally hear him say.
We don't say squatch over here.
Yeah, I remember one time I was on his panel and I said podcasting, and it was like, what? He's like, it's broadcasting, and I was like, man, yes, it's broadcasting.
I tell you what, well, at least he's got standards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I love.
He's got standards, and I can appreciate that.
I do.
He stands for something.
He does. It teaches you. You're right.
But also,
it's a hard lesson. Yeah, and it was so funny though. I look back. It wasn't so funny at the time, but I was like, broadcasting, yes.
Squatch.
Yeah.
Squatch. I would throw in a squatch every now and then.
Everything. I was like, man, you're like, I used to call him the guy, the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. I was like, you're the wizard. That's what I used to call him. I was like, you're everywhere. But it was really good because it taught me so much about it. It wasn't like, you left, you knew, and it was good. It was definitely good, but it was so funny at sometimes. I just had to ask you about that. I just remember those monthly meetings. It's so funny.
I remember the meetings. I don't remember him having to go to the woods, but I don't doubt it.
So embarrassing. Yeah, and he told everybody it was because of me, and I was like, oh God, he knew, and then he showed up for the meeting, and like, it's like, how do you know you're in trouble?
Yes. I always had another show to be on or something. I was like, can I be excused, please?
Yeah, please. Like I have my punishment. I love you, Dave. I do. I absolutely love him. There's always a place in my heart for him.
We love you, Dave.
Yeah.
Taco Bell Dave, Walter says. Yes, I actually got to go to Taco Bell in Las Vegas with Dave.
Oh yeah, he loves Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Taco Bell. Yeah, Dave. That's what we should have done. I mean, I bet they don't have it in Canada. I was like, man, if there was a Taco Bell, I'd be ordering it for him.
We actually went to the Taco Bell in Las Vegas together, and
awesome.
We had some other friends. We were at the SOR party out there a couple years ago, and we got in there, and they had like a full bar in the Taco Bell. You could even get married at the Taco Bell.
Wow, that was probably Dave's dream come true. Yeah. Oh wow, that's awesome.
If Dave ever gets married, he's gonna have to go get married. I don't know if he's married. Taco Bell. If he ever gets married, he can go into the Taco Bell in Las Vegas and get married.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, it really was. Those were fun times. There was fun times.
Oh yeah.
So I have to ask you, I know I kept you on here for a while. Can you go into your remote viewing? You're an amazing remote viewer. If anybody does not know this, Jessica she's like, you're the stuff that you have and the knowledge you have, you've come so far. Like, just to look back and see, like, as an outsider looking in, you've done so much. You should be so proud of yourself, Jessica. Like, you've done amazing things. Like, I've been waiting just to connect with you again, because I was just like, man, it was just like amazing to watch. And then I see it pop up. I'm like, you're going to these conferences, but you're an amazing remote viewer. Can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, so we were having, I was taught remote viewing by the head of my Bigfoot research team for Bigfoot researching purposes, basically. But it also helps with everyday life. I use remote viewing in every part of my life today. And it's not like I'm remote viewing everybody and looking into reading everyone's minds. And so, no, I'm not doing any of that. I ain't got time for that. But I am able to pick up on everything, anything and everything. I can turn it off if I want, and I can keep it on, but I have a situational awareness like no other. Okay.
Wow.
And that's so important when you're out there, especially when you're out in the woods with cryptids.
Yeah.
And, we're using this as part of the telepathy, as part of that psi aspect, the psychic aspect that we're learning and stuff. But anyways, I was taught in all the different modes of remote viewing, and I'm talking about the military style, Project Stargate, Project Jedi, all that kind of stuff. We're the Ingo Swan methods. Okay, like that's really what the kind of stuff that I do with my shows. I'm given sets we call blind coordinates. Okay, given blind coordinates where I don't know what the target is. Someone who is also trained in remote viewing, partial, like Barry Littleton, one of my good friends. He gives me a lot of wonderful targets. He's an amazing he's not a remote viewer, but I've trained him on how to assign me targets correctly. And so he's an amazing researcher. Maybe one day I'll teach him remote viewing. I don't know, but for now we like it the way it is, because he's not extensively trained in remote viewing, but he knows how to give me targets. And he's done so much research on all these topics. He just sometimes just wants to know if some of these targets are real. Okay. And so remote viewing is locating a target that you don't know what it is. I'm just given a set of coordinate numbers, some random numbers, and I have a process. It's like a scientific way to locate a target using your psychic abilities. That's what it is. And the government calls them psychic spies and stuff. And even to this day, I mean, I have friends who are snipers in the military, special forces, that have told me that they have remote viewers assigned to each unit that they go out with.
Do they ever block you? Do you ever connect with anybody out there doing it?
Oh, I get pretty much told to shut targets down sometimes. It depends. See, here's the thing. I have a set of rules here, and like Barry knows not to cross some of these boundaries. I can't have boundaries that I don't want to cross with like some government facilities and stuff, and like stuff that, I mean, there's just some places I just don't, I'm not going to go.
Right.
Okay. And, but there's few and far between, because my God, I've gone to level 27 under area 51. You're not supposed to remote view the moon, but somehow I ended up remote viewing the moon a couple times.
Ooh. And what did you find?
Well, is it real? I got a proverbial knock at my door for that one. So,
oh God.
Well, I can tell you that I did remote view something that I can't talk about, and that's the crashed spaceship on the backside of the moon in a crater. And I remote viewed that back when I was learning remote viewing, and that was one of our practice targets. And I can say there is a crash ship in a crater on the back of the moon. There is, and they say that that's where that Mona Lisa EBE is, and I've remote viewed that as well. That was one of those blind targets that Barry gave me more recently, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and that turned out, the data suggests that there is. That is there. I don't think that video is real. There's like a video of her. I can't say that that's real. I mean, that's not like authentic. I think that might be like made up. AI. But there was probably something in there.
Wow. Somebody said too, the AI Atlas. Did you remote view that?
3-Eye Atlas. My God.
Or the 3-Eye Atlas.
I've been given that twice.
Really?
I have been given that twice. Yeah, by two different people have tasked me with that. And as blind targets, when Barry gave it to me recently, and it was about 3 weeks ago, I guess, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And my data, I was like, it's not good. Okay, so
it's coming. There's like 4 of them coming now. I mean,
there's a whole bunch of stuff coming towards us. There's, I think it's always, a lot of the stuff's always been out there. Why are they just showing us now? I think that we've just been lied to about everything.
Oh, for sure. So what do you think it is? Like, what did you find in your remote viewing?
Well, my remote viewing data said Draco reptilians. It said there's a bunch of them. And I think it was like ships and probes. Okay. It was like probes, or like there's maybe like one big ship, but like I was seeing like the drawing that I did had like a whole bunch of little ships all around it. Okay. And it was some kind of reptilian. My data said a reptilian takeover or something. It was almost like
Oh,
it said
God,
it said
it's
that
gonna get
movie,
good,
that
huh?
movie or that show V.
Yeah.
And it was basically about like reptilians and stuff. Now,
Oh, I have the tattoo.
it's not a comet. Okay,
Yeah.
it's definitely not a comet. But here's another thing too: is like just recently, John Vivico is another. He's an amazing remote viewer, and I was watching something on Instagram. I think Barry and I were kind of sending these videos back and forth. He had remote viewed it as well. And guess what? His data, because see, like I'm hearing from like the spiritual community and stuff. These people are like, oh, they're here to help humanity move forward. And yes, I think they are. They are here to help move humanity forward consciously. I think so.
We might not like the way they
But-
do it, but it probably, yeah, you're probably right. It's going to happen.
But
It
it's
has
like
to happen.
it's sunshine and rainbows and everything's going to be so great. And it's like the second coming of something, some kind of
God, people are
starseed
gonna
thing.
freak out.
And so, but everybody's like, it's so positive. Yay. And I'm like, oh, I'm not getting that.
No, I don't either.
And then I'm hearing from, so Barry Littleton often gives me some of the targets that John Vivico and his team have already done. He's another remote viewer. And so Barry does this because he wants to see if I'm going to, he said it's because he wants to see if I get the same data that they've got.
Oh, yeah.
Past. And it just turns out, absolutely, I usually end up getting almost the exact same data that they get on a lot of these targets, like Chupacabra, for instance. I had the exact same data that they got. And these are blind targets. So I'm just given a set of numbers and I'm getting the same data that they get.
That's crazy. Do you know James Gillian?
Yes. The UFO guy.
Yeah. But he's on his ranch, SETI Ranch. He's in Hawaii now. We communicate like daily. And he and Peter Maxwell Slattery, they go through and their data, it's like you're saying, how do they get, it's like, you can't do that. There's no way. So you guys share the data. So it's like blind, here's your coordinates. And then, wow.
Yeah, I'm just given a set of numbers. That's all I get. And I have stages where I sit down with pens and paper. I get a stack of plain printer paper, white paper, and I have charts that I draw out. And I go through stages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stages. And it's a scientific method.
Yeah.
To channel, psychic information basically. And so
that's amazing.
Yeah. So John and them had gotten Draco reptilians, same that I got. But I believe it was John, some remote viewing team. I think it was John's. But they were getting that they were reptilians, but they were holograms of reptilians, and they were communicating with these remote viewers, and they were saying that they were actually coming here to scoop up all the star seeds. That's what they said. I didn't get that in my data. Okay.
So what did you get in your data?
I just got that it was reptilians. It was something reptilian. See, because these are blind targets, so I don't know what I'm looking at.
Sure.
At all. But I'm getting that there's some kind of probes, some kind of spacecraft, and there's reptilians on it. And they are coming there. Some kind of reptilian takeover was in my data. It said reptilian takeover. And I wrote a big V on the data on one of my pages. And I said the movie or the show V. Okay.
Jessica, I have the tattoo.
Shut up.
Yeah, I swear to God.
No.
Right here. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. I have the tattoo right here. Can you see it? It's probably upside down.
I can't.
It's a V.
That's it. That's what I drew in my data.
Oh my God.
That's weird. Ooh, I just got goosebumps down the side of my body. That's weird.
Wow. When you
that
said
was in my
I was
data.
Like, oh my God. Oh, wow. That is so crazy. I just like literally had all these goosebumps. I'm like, I got the V. I got the V, Jessica. That is crazy. Yes, that is insane.
Maybe you're a part of this somehow, and it's like just part of the next advancement of humanity here.
I don't even know why I got this tattoo. It was so I think I just wanted kind of like the sleeve going on, and I was so connected with the V, and that I literally got it like a few months ago. When you're saying this, I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. Wow. Yeah, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh no. I mean, I don't.
I even got the saying around my wrist, like the V's.
Yeah. Whoa, that is so weird. This is like what a coincidence. There are no coincidences.
No, there are not. They're not.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, sorry, go on. I just
Yeah,
like
no,
I literally there's been so many moments in this chat where it's like stuff's flying. Like this has probably
know,
been the
right?
best show I've ever had. Like I love this. I
It
love
is fun. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
amazing. The chat's amazing. Like it's just like this bonding, experience. But yeah, I don't know what the V's mean, but I got them. Yeah.
well, okay. So my friend Nick Sylvester, he used to be on TV shows and stuff. He's like a big truther guy. Like he's had tons of shows and channels. His channels always got removed off YouTube and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's telling the truth about stuff. He's a good insider. And Nick Sylvester comes on my shows, and he came on and we talked about 3i Atlas. He said that it's actually that the controllers, whoever's in charge, you know who I'm talking about, them, they, whatever, they've known
Yep.
that this was coming for a long time, and this has been predicted for eons. They've known this was coming at some point they had the dates, they knew it was going to come. And so the dark hats, the dark forces, were planning to use the arrival of 3i Atlas to bring in that fake alien invasion, and to
for
have
sure.
the holographic fake alien
Yep.
invasion, and then mix it in with some real aliens and just cause pure chaos and havoc, and
Yeah.
to put the world, turn it upside down, and to obtain full control of humanity. That's what they were planning.
It's in the process. It is right here in
Well,
the process.
According to him, it has been thwarted. Okay. It has been thwarted, is what he said. And we still got to work on it every day.
Yeah.
But he said that it's been thwarted. And the more humanity wakes up, the less likely it's going to be that it's going to go in a downward spiral. And we're going to get taken over by reptilians. I think reptilians have already been here. They done
for
took
sure.
over.
Oh,
They
for
done
sure.
took over, girl.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
people don't even realize it. And it's like
Man.
I always like the people, like, have you ever come in contact and it's like somebody like I always see there's players in this. This is what I feel like. So I feel like there's players in this, and I feel like there's like the pawns. Like
Yep.
maybe that's not the good word for it, but it's like they're the ones that that routinely will go around your block, or it's like they're the extras.
Yep.
Maybe would be the better
The
word for it.
NPCs.
But what the hell? Yeah. And when you come across that stone cold, it's like nothing in there. And it's weird because when I was in therapy with some of these kids,
Drones.
they were so severely abused and neglected, the air would be thicker. And I even talked to other therapists about it. I'm like, do you guys feel that? Like the air just got so much thicker. I don't even know how to explain it. And they're like, yeah, no, they had it too. And I was like, man, what in the heck is going on? It's like with this, and I always feel like, are these people, are they real? Are they like, a part of this darkness that's here? Whatever's here hates humanity. There's like a dark force that hates humanity.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's why I love covering so many different topics on my channels and stuff, and doing all this research and bringing people on my shows, talking about stuff like the human resets, the mud floods, the orphan trains, the asylums and the prisons and the breweries that used to be castles here, and trying to figure out what was our true history. Our true history is not what we're told. And then we're dealing with like okay, I know this is like so random, but it's like man-made lakes, especially here in the South. I talk about like we have newspaper articles, we have hardcore written evidence that earthen mounds, Indian burial mounds with giant skeletons in them, all excavated, Egyptian temples, excavated and not excavated, some of them found, ancient, and then covered up in man-made lakes all over the South, Tennessee, Georgia, all over, wherever, you name it, even the Hoover Dam, okay, and Lake Tahoe, and all that. It's just we've just been living a lie and a big cover-up for a long time. And, and our history has been completely distorted and completely hidden from us. Okay.
What is it like with your kid? Do you find, I told the school the other day,
girl, you'd be getting in trouble.
Yeah. And I said to the teacher, I said, you know what? If everything you hadn't taught me when I was in school was a total lie, I'd probably be more concerned about.
That's what my son says too. Listen, last year he got in trouble so much because he was always questioning his teachers.
Yep.
And he still does. I think it's really calmed down this year because his teacher is way more chill.
Yeah.
Last year, one of his teachers was really cool. The other teacher, she couldn't handle it.
Oh
She
God, I
can't. They
know.
can't because teacher and God bless their hearts, man. Bless their hearts. All of them. I love. Shout out to all the teachers out there. You guys are
Yeah,
doing
you
God's
guys,
work.
yeah.
You really
Especially
are.
when you're dealing with the Gen Xer parents. God bless
Yes,
you.
like us, right?
Yeah.
But see, some teachers, some teachers are, and it's the same in everyday life. Some people are taught something, and that's what they're here to do. They're here to teach what's in a book, and that's their job. They want to teach what's in a book and go home. Okay, grade papers and go home. Well, the good teachers, okay, the really good teachers are the ones that will teach what they're the curriculum, but they allow the children to think about it and think outside the box and discuss other options as well and all that. And that's like what my son questions everything. He's a Bigfooter too. He goes out. I've been taking him bigfooting since he was a kid,
Oh yeah, my kid goes to the
a little
haunted
kid.
houses too. He talked me into it, and I was like, "Okay, Brody, there's supposed to be a waiver. You're supposed to be 18." Like, and he wanted to go, so he loves it though too. Isn't that amazing? You probably have that great bond with your son too. That's
Oh
so awesome. He's gonna be,
yeah,
I always tell Brody, this is your lineage. You got to take this over. Like, this isn't just stop when I do. Like, this is your path to. He loves it though. It's amazing.
yeah.
It's like that bond and connection.
It is. Listen,
Wow.
I'm setting my kid up for success, and like he has gone and learned from the best Bigfooters in the world,
That's
literally,
awesome.
and
Yeah, he has with your
grows up with them.
connections. Oh,
He is
that's so amazing.
they're the best, not only the best humans in the world, but the best trackers, survivalists. They've taught him everything that he knows. They've taught him everything, and he's going to be able to go out whenever. I will not allow him to have a YouTube channel right now. He's only 11, but listen. One day when he's old enough, he is so outgoing and just loves to teach and to just he's a leader, man. He's a good kid. So it's all about passing the torch to our kids one day. And
My kid spent so much. He oh God, his teacher he had, and he wasn't like he was disrespectful, but he did not. There was a year he had to completely sit lunch, like he couldn't sit with the rest of
that
the
was
kids.
last year. He had silent lunch every day.
Yeah, mine did
Silent
too.
lunch. I just talked about that with somebody else. Oh my God, I don't know who I was talking to. I was on a show
Oh my God,
the
that
other
is
day, and we were talking about.
hilarious.
I think I was on a show. We were talking about silent lunch. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, my kid.
Can't talk during lunch. You little prisoners. You
I don't
little
think he
mini
got to sit at the
prisoners.
table like one day. I was like, oh God, Brody.
Yeah, it's like
killing
a
me. It was
freaking
funny.
warden.
Yeah. But you know what?
They're
It is
they're
too, because when
wardens.
you're a leader, they don't necessarily always like the tactic. But it was funny because I had a teacher one time. Oh my gosh, they tried to put a box around my kid, and I said, you know what? My generation, I said, if I ever see that box again, I'm coming in and I'm tearing it down and I'm throwing it in the garbage. You don't put a cardboard box around my son. That's going too far. But yeah, he's not disrespectful at all. Like, he's very, but he stands his ground, and that's what you want your kids to do. You don't want them just to go with authority. You don't just trust anyone. They need to question this. This is the generation that's, this is their world.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't necessarily like that. But when they call me, it's so funny. I'm like, oh, Brody, we had another one.
Oh my God. I get PTSD, dude. Every time I see him at the school's in my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I get PTSD.
God,
Last year, my phone rang off the hook with them. And
I told the teacher
it was
last
a
year
lot.
to lose my number.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I got so nervous. Like, I would literally, my blood pressure would go up. Every time I'd look at my phone, I'd be like, oh gosh, here we go.
I know. I got a call the other day, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then he's like,
no, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, conferences. And I was like, you're brave.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Like, you better hope that one teacher's not there. And
God.
I mean, I literally got anxiety having to go meet with his one teacher last year. She gave me anxiety.
I know. That's what I told him too. I was like, you just annoyed me in 3 minutes. I was like, I can't even.
Oh my God. Well, here's the thing with my son too, is like, he questions things. I'm not saying he questions authority. He questions the narrative.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you want them to do.
And he encourages all the other kids too. So he was like causing like an uprising.
Yeah.
With all the kids.
Mine did too.
That's the problem. That was the meat and potatoes of it right there. That was he was bringing the other kids with him.
I have to tell
you, that was the issue.
Yeah. So when the mask, this is probably controversial, but I have to tell you this. This is how bad it got. When the mask came in, my son did not wear one. They tried to lock down the whole school. He went in there. Yeah, everybody had. We prepared for it. I was like, Brody, if you're going to go into the school, we're not. When they locked down or whatever, and they came back up, they tried to lock down the whole school. We had a showdown.
I would have
And so
never let my
oh
kid wear
god.
one of those. Absolutely
No,
not. Nope.
not,
Nope.
no.
I would have snatched him out of school. We excuse me, we had to like homeschool or whatever.
I
But did y'all
sent
just
him
see
in
that
there. I
bug?
couldn't believe it. He was
Just
in
had a bug.
7th grade, and I was like, he had to go in the whole school's mask. And I said, "No, Birdie, when you go in, you tell him to all throw them away at noon or something." But once he got through, everybody else, it was just slowly, and that's why I was like, man, I'm so proud of him, because I was thinking, going in that school, I mean, they literally tried to lock it down. I had to have a showdown, and it was like 10 minutes before when that came on. We were just
Teachers, we're
preparing
not
for
wearing
it.
that mask.
Yeah, no. We never did. And then I get a call, right? And he wouldn't get on the bus with a teacher who carried a box of masks, and that's who he had. And I was like,
Dang it.
yeah,
I mean,
know,
good for
it's
him.
drama.
I
It
love
was terrible.
I love a strong-willed kid, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, and he does
Yeah.
it with such grace. Yeah, I go in and I'm like, he goes in like gracefully, and he does it, and he stands his ground. They tried to put him in like the basement. They said he was no, they told him he was a health, I can't remember what it was. They said he may or may not, they were watching him on camera, he may or may not been chewing and talking with his mouth. They told me the public health threat.
You know how absurd that time was for humanity? That was an
crazy.
absurd time for humanity. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh god, it was.
It was
So
horrible.
so every time I get a call, I'm like,
Face
it takes me
diapers.
right back to that showdown. It's like,
I ain't wearing no diaper on my face.
no.
I told him, luckily we lived out in the country in Georgia, and luckily his school did not make them do that. And it was optional, and we were a hell no on that.
Right. And it's like, if people feel the need to, I didn't care. But I cared if you made everybody else do it, because we were fine. We never had anything. And and I was doing like the rallies and speaking out and doing all that stuff. It was like crazy, but it was such, it's like everybody should have that option. Don't tell, it's like everybody should, the world is not your hospital. But if you choose that, that's great. Like I don't care, it's up to you, but I just couldn't breathe. I felt like I was being smothered.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Something in my soul would not allow it.
No,
it just
mine
wouldn't.
either. And
I was one of
freaked
those.
me out. Like this guy, I remember I was a lifeguard. I literally went to the zip line, and I couldn't go. Like
They made you wear one on a zip line?
No. I didn't never wear one. I would get like because then you'd have like the groups that come. I'm like, you're gonna die out there walking up those hills. But I did, I tried to lead by example. I'm like, I was shunned as a therapist over it. Like they're like, you want kids coughing? I said, I go lick a shelf at Walmart. That's how I don't care.
I'll lick the cart handle. My son actually did that, by the way, and he was pretty small. I guess he was like in what was that, like kindergarten when all that happened, 1st grade, and I remember us we went to the store at some point, and I remember looking down. He had his mouth on the he had like on the handles on the grocery cart. He had his mouth on it, like full mouth open, like it was horrible.
Oh my god! I know. I was roller skating like I was like 3 times a week, and I remember I like reached my hand in, and they like gave it to me, and I was like, oh man, I forgot.
It was probably the cleanest handle that grocery cart ever had, actually, because everybody was so worried, and they were like cleaning them, so it was probably nothing.
We didn't use hand sanitizer. I mean, we just, it was crazy times though. But I remember seeing that. I really appreciate like people, you and everybody else that stuck to that, because you should have the option. This is and if we keep going with this narrative, or we don't give people that option, we're going to slip into what is happening, especially with this AI atlas. We got to snap out of this. We have to snap out of this. You should have a choice. It's like people, we're going down a road right now that we can change this. We can take this over. We're the Gen Xers out there. Come on, we got this. But it's going to take some work and effort. But I just worry. What do you think people are going to do with this AI atlas coming? I feel like it's
the three atlas.
Why do I keep saying AI?
Honestly,
Jesus.
well, because there's a lot of AI. Our whole world is nothing but AI now.
Oh, I know.
So, it's probably just going to pass and nothing's going to happen. I mean, especially if this was going to be something that was going to be a mass, psyop kind of. They were going to use this as a big psyop. I don't know. No matter what, it's already doing something that's actually kind of positive, in my opinion. with the mass consciousness awakening of all the people on Earth. Okay, everybody, like even I use my sister as a gauge. Okay, for the awakening of mankind, because my sister had been, bless her heart, she's one that was kind of, I don't want to say asleep. Okay, it's not that, but not as awake in some ways. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was watching. She kind of held the middle ground for like what the masses kind of were, like where they were at in their heads, right? With a lot of the stuff that was going on. And now I see, like the other day we were celebrating my mom's birthday, right? And we were out to dinner, and she turns and looks at me and she was like, did you know about, I mean, she was talking about 3-Eye Atlas and aliens and like all the hot topics. She was like hitting on all of them, stuff that I've been doing remote viewing on, stuff. She doesn't watch my shows or anything. Okay. but she was hitting on all the hot topics, and she was speaking eloquently on it all. And I was so proud to hear those words come out of her mouth, because I was like, we did it. We've done it. We're doing it. People like yourself and me and all the people who have YouTube channels and all the people who are out speaking publicly about, you know, what we're doing. And the goal is not to wake everybody up. That's not what I do every day. I'm not here just to wake everybody up. I'm here to share my story. And in the process, we help awaken humanity through our experiences, like your experiences and mine. And my sister has gone over the edge in a good way, in her awakening. And that shows me that the rest of the world has too. And so we are doing our job. So good job, everybody.
Yeah.
You guys
I just posted one.
COLEY.
Yeah.
We're
No, I was
good.
out. You should have seen that. There's a video out there. I'm like, literally, I'm like, like, you know, that's that fire that I have. I posted something that the newspaper got me on. Like, you see me like this at the meetings, but I'm just really trying to be that resistance so people have a choice. It's just not like, you know, you can't, there's so much control. What are you going to do? We have literally, we got pulled over 4 times in 1 week going through a stoplight. Now the police sit right in the middle of the road, their license plate. So if you've been pulled over once in that month, you have a tag on you. So we were just like, I'm like, man, this is the surveillance your kids are living under. It doesn't go anywhere good now. Like, you got to, stop. This isn't good. This isn't like protection. This is control. Very much control. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what all we can do about it, other than just, you know, live your everyday lives. Okay. And just know that we're sovereign beings. Okay. And you're also limitless no matter what. We're more than this physical body. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So try not to get too caught up in the 3D reality. I know we all still have to pay our bills.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just try not to get too caught up in it, and don't focus on all the negative stuff. Like try to look at the positive and get out in the woods and go enjoy yourself, and like
get away from all the
negatives.
Yes.
Yeah. Get out and get some fresh air, you know, and
take your shoes off, go walk in that grass, you know, let's connect with that nature. Jessica, I know I could talk to you all day long. I really appreciate you coming on, and you know, it's been so wonderful and everything. Is there anything I would love? God, I'm everybody. Tell them when your show is. We got to go to Jessica's chat. I love JJ's. Like, you know, get in there. Remote viewing. You said Thursday nights. What are your schedules like now? Okay,
well, I have a remote viewing show every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm in Georgia, so I do go by Eastern time, and so every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, I have a daytime show. Mondays and Wednesdays. Thursdays, I have an 8 p.m. remote viewing show. And then on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, I have a show called On the Hunt. I bring, sorry, y'all, the dogs.
Oh,
the dog's like, I need to go out. But I have a show on Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's called On the Hunt. Tomorrow night, I actually have my good buddies my young dudes that I go out with. We did that Alabama Dogman Bigfoot expedition and recently, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to have most of the team with me on the screen tomorrow night on my channel.
Oh yeah,
so y'all come check us out.
That's the Cryptid Huntress on YouTube?
Cryptid Huntress.
Okay.
Yes, the Cryptid Huntress on YouTube and all over social media. The only place where I'm not the Cryptid Huntress is on X, and I'm Huntress Jessica. Yes. But it's all on my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. And so check me out. Y'all come over and subscribe to the Cryptid
Yes,
Huntress.
you guys hit that like, subscribe, and
Yeah.
let's go to Jessica's chat. We're gonna invade your chat tomorrow. What
Thank you.
again? What time was it? 8 p.m.
10
Eastern
p.m.
time? Oh, 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Okay,
on
cool.
Saturdays
Yeah.
it's at 10. Yeah, 10 p.m.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're gonna go. Everybody go over to the Cryptid Huntress on YouTube. We're gonna like, subscribe, and we're gonna invade her chat. So I absolutely love it, Jessica. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to leave people? I think that what you said was just like so amazing. Like, let's not get caught up in like this 3D stuff because it really sucks you in. It really does. You have to have that balance and stuff. So positivity. I love that. Is there anything you
Yes.
want to say to them before we go? I want to thank you so much. Like, this has been such a bonding experience. You have no idea. Like, I love you to death. I do. And I'm so proud of everything, the work you've done. And I've always wanted to say, I'm like, gosh, when I connect with her again, I'm going to tell her what you are doing and moving forward is so motivating and it's so great. You're a leader and you really are. You've earned your place in this. And I absolutely love you to death and what you're doing. I'm so proud of you. Really. You are amazing.
Oh my gosh. That is so sweet, COLEY. Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you.
From the bottom of my heart. Really.
You're kicking ass and taking names too, girl. Okay.
Oh,
and
man.
I see you. But I see you,
My
girl. I
ass.
see you. Yeah, no, just to leave tonight, I always tell my audience, let's don't live in fear. We've got a lot of crazy, weird stuff going on in the world. And we can't, be aware of what's going on, but don't dwell on it. And don't, we are more than just these physical bodies. We're not going to be here forever. And so get out and do things that you love to do. Spend time with your families and just get out and get some fresh air. Go camping, get away from all this frequencies and low vibe stuff. And, try to keep your vibes high. I see my friend Jane's in your chat tonight. Chiro sounds.
Oh yeah. No,
so
everybody's got such positive things to say about you, Jessica. They really
Thank you.
I am watching. Yeah. It's amazing. And everything. So
thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for coming on and really just like we're gonna stay in touch. You're like my, that sister I love. So I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart and thank you for the mute thing earlier. That was so embarrassing.
Oh, it was awesome. I know. I'm here to help. You'll never forget now. Just always remember that mute button. It's the mute
heck
button.
yeah! I wish I
that darn mute button.
It's
gotten me a few times.
I was grabbing cords. I don't know if you saw that. It's like, Mom, it's
I
never
know,
happened
it's
before,
all
but
good.
yeah. All right. Thank you
happens.
so much for coming on. You're amazing.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
Kick ass.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, keep your vibes high, as my friend Jane says, and don't live in fear. Live in awareness. And yeah,
I love that.
We're all gonna be okay.
Fear, live in awareness. Everything's gonna be good. Thank you again, Jessica. There, you guys. What an amazing night! Like, I just want to thank everybody in chat. Like, I feel like we've all bonded. It's like everything that's gone, but it's just stick together. We're in this. We might think differently about things or whatever, but we have that common bond. We all know that. And so I just want to thank every single one of you out there. I'm giving a shout out to Polly Rotterman too. If you guys don't know, we're going to be doing a show together. She is so amazing too. Kurt, I want to thank you so much. Magneticus, love you guys to death. Tim Mothman. I'm just going to go through chat real quick because I feel so bonded with you guys. So it was just an amazing night, like amazing chat. Mike, nice prime to see you. Jay, Truth Seeker, it's great to have you. Max Pax, Chai Rouse Sounds. I mean, Walter, it's very nice. Bounty Hunter Bear. I mean, hey, Max, or I said Max, you guys are wonderful. Spider Bite was in here earlier. I just like Bounty Hunter. I'm just gonna go through because I really think you guys it's just amazing tonight. Walter, I guess I said Walter before. You guys, thank you so much. This chat was so healing. Solomon Jacks, thank you. Carl. Oh, hey, Carl. Carl's a total Bigfoot. Carl was in as when I went out on a hunt. It was so weird. Carl had been there before at the same location I was going to. That was another moment. It was great. Polly, girl, I'm so proud of you, girl. Polly and I will be on tomorrow. We have Jim Goodall. If you guys don't know Jim's funny. He's amazing. I kind of annoy him, but he's coming through. Actually, we're gonna do a little road trip, so we're really excited about that. But Polly's gonna be stepping up here, and she's in a different time zone. She's got missiles and flying over top of her, and she's doing this. So we want to just keep pushing forward, and if we do it together, Tim Mothman, hey, you guys, I appreciate. Hillbilly Herb, thank you so much. You guys all deserve like a huge shout out. So I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. But yeah, what an amazing night. Like, I really feel like I don't know if you guys saw that, but like we kind of clipped the time. Something flew behind me when I was on there. I've had this paranormal stuff going on, and I really don't know exactly what's going on, but it's kind of freaking me out. So I'm gonna try and do a clearing, because the other night somebody spotted like stuff flying behind. We had EVP audio. It was really weird. Somebody came over laughing, and this has all been this week. So I'm just a little concerned and kind of freaked out. But yeah, Lorinda, hey, Chris. Yeah, Chris, he's local too. He's really amazing. Stepped up here, hillbilly. I got you, buddy. But I just want to thank everybody. Let's stick together, and definitely go over to Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress channel, and we can meet there tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's amazing. Jessica and I, if you don't know the background, we were both on Spaced Out Radio. She had the Cryptid Huntress. I was on After Hours, and I used to get in trouble a little bit with Dave Scott. But I love Dave Scott. It was just, we have some fun stories. So always have that connection. Some amazing people. I can't tell you how amazing all of you are, and it wouldn't be possible if you weren't who you are and doing what you have done. I appreciate it. If I missed anybody, and I'm sure I did, please know that I really appreciate every single one of you tonight, and you stuck in there with us, and that's just so amazing. So in closing, excuse me, like I said, 7 p.m. tomorrow night, we're gonna have Jim Goodall on, and he's always a fun time. He is. And Polly will be here. Kurt W75. He's amazing. He's been a huge part of the team too. And I have to tell you, Blue Cruise, hey, that there's a team underneath this that keeps this going. Like Polly Rotterman and Kurt and all these like they keep an eye on everything for me. And it's so beautiful. Like I can't even tell you, like the hard work that they put in and the effort that each and one of you do. Like this is getting our like word out there. This is taking this and going to the next step. If we don't live this and do this, like I don't know. I just feel like things could happen that we don't want to, but we got this together. We got this. Let's stick together. But again, I'm like kind of sentimental about this stuff. I just want to thank every single one of you. And Polly Rotterman, I'm so proud of you. You deserve a huge shout out. And again, like be good to one another. And let's hit Jessica's channel again, the Cryptid Huntress, tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can all meet there and invade her chat. Like she's so amazing. She really is. This girl she's out there as bait. She's done so much. Like she's not even just like she is doing it, and she's like breaking through these walls. So I can't tell you how proud I am of her. She's just an amazing person altogether. So in closing, big, huge shout out to that Cryptid Huntress. She is leading the way, and she's leading the way for her child. She is doing this and walking this. Let's support her. Let's stand behind her, because she's going to the top, you guys. She really is. She's got the heart and the soul and the intention of just like the best person. She really is. I mean, inside and out. So again, I just want to thank every single one of you. Let's meet tomorrow night if you can, 10 p.m. The Cryptid Huntress. Let's give her some scribes, because the more we get her, we want people like that leading the way. We want the genuine people. The people that they have put in there are not the leaders. They're not the ones that you want in there. The Jessica Jones, that Cryptid Huntress, is out. She was bait. Like she's living. She's not even just talking about this. She's doing it. And I'm just like, it's just so motivational to see. So again, thank you to every single one of you. Thank you for taking the journey into the unknown SNX Radio. Again, I'm COLEY. Jessica Jones on tonight. Tomorrow night, it will be me and Polly Rotterman stepping up. That girl, she's leading the way too. So again, thank you for all your support. We could not do it without you. It's so appreciated. See you tomorrow night.
These they ain't lying. UFOs in the night we're flying.